calm, relaxed mood.
You feel calm?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully my mic doesn't have a seizure on me.
Just gotta take care of the notebook. So it's the notebook.
Safe space is the notebook.
Yeah.
We made it, dude.
Yeah, finally. It's been a while. It's been a while of us trying.
Right, it's been in the works for quite some time now.
It is my schedule, probably. I'm sorry.
No. Don't be sorry. Dude. It's me, and it's my constant procrastination.
It's both of us.
That's fair. Okay, one thing that we do have to address immediately is, can you bring the mic a little bit closer to you? Is it pulling, or are you fine?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. You feel right now you're good?
Yeah. How do I sound?
Now you're perfect. Someone actually made a comment on my last video talking about how I put the mic too close near my mouth, like this. And now I'm self-conscious about it.
That is too close.
Yeah, so now I'm going to put it down here.
Now I'm assuming if I'm too far.
No, dude. Now I'm realizing, like, I should have been doing this from the beginning.
Okay.
All my guests are like this. This is how you should be talking.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just like, what the hell is this?
You shouldn't be really thinking about the microphone, you know?
That's exactly. Yeah. Jad, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you on.
Thank
you for being on. I appreciate you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I want to give a proper introduction to the world, if that's okay, real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 5 of Sherapy. I'm here with a guest that I met just recently, actually, a few months ago at the gym.
I don't think it's been a few months. It's been like 2 months, yeah.
2 or 3 months at least, right?
Months, yeah,
a couple of months. Just barely.
It was actually a coincidence.
Very random. Yeah. Can I tell you, by the way, I remember how we initially... I don't think you initially remember how we... You do?
Yeah, I opened the door.
You know, yeah.
I opened the door, or you opened the door. We were both going in the gym at the same time.
Exactly.
And then I opened the door, and then you were like...
And then we were both like, no, after you.
We argued, yeah.
No, after you. No, after you. That's what I knew. I found a brother right
actually,
there.
it was a coincidence because we didn't... Like, after that happened, we went through... Coincidentally, we were both doing back on the same day, and we landed on lat pull downs.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if it wasn't back that day, then I don't know if we would have been friends by now.
Dude, I would have never talked to you ever if you were not doing back on that day.
Ouch.
No. Thank God you were doing back. Because we have the same mindsets.
Yeah.
We have the same mindset, obviously.
But yeah, it was a coincidence.
A random coincidence, but
a nice one.
It led to this.
Yeah.
Now we're here.
Yeah, that is crazy. It's actually crazy.
Isn't that just so wild?
We just didn't do back that day.
Thank God for the gym.
Yeah.
Dude, so many unexpected friendships. Like, just holding the door open for someone.
Yep.
You end up being their friend. Like, it's so random. Anyways, the reason that I have brought Jad onto the show today, ladies and gentlemen, is because he's not only extremely educational on our topic today, which is going to be about Ramadan, but he's a very respectful, kind dude as well. Like, I genuinely mean this. Like, you are, like, even like when you met my mother, you showed her the utmost respect, and she was telling me about you too. She was like, this guy was so polite, so kind, and I'm honored to have him on today. Ladies and gentlemen, please clap it up, make some noise for the one and only Jad.
Wow,
Let's go.
What a wonderful welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Standing ovation. You can't hear that, but they're clapping for you.
Yeah, I heard the clap. I can hear it.
Oh, you do, right?
I did.
Thank God. Okay, so Jad has something against the headphones. I don't know what it is.
It's just that I have them on most of the time while I'm sitting on my computer, so there's no reason for me to just add more.
Exactly. Okay, yeah. This is supposed to be a relaxing time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
Especially that we just broke our fast 2 hours ago.
Oh, right. Yeah. So you're just
I'm in a
being alive right now.
Relaxed mood right now.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Calm.
Reborn.
Yeah.
Jad, I'm going to start with a very simple question. Why do you fast?
Well, let us speak of what is Ramadan. Ramadan.
That's great.
In a more.
What is Ramadan?
Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. You are, whether you like it or not, you're gonna fast. So it is something that we are obligated to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Ramadan is the ninth month of the Islamic calendar. Now, if you didn't know, the Islamic calendar is actually different than the Gregorian calendar, which we use on a daily basis.
Right.
The Islamic calendar is 10 days shorter, or 9 days shorter, because it's on a lunar year.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's usually Ramadan. This is why Ramadan is usually 10 days or 9 days before the previous Ramadan. So if Ramadan this year was, let's say, March 10th, then last year it was like March 20th.
Oh my God, I've noticed that.
Yeah, because Ramadan,
it changes.
Because the Islamic calendar is 10 days or 9 days shorter, depending on the moon. I think that's how it's calculated.
That makes. When I was in Iran and they were fasting, it was summer.
Yeah,
it was summer.
That was probably
Ramadan.
like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because,
exactly.
Yeah.
So it alternates every year. It goes forward or backward?
No, backwards. Days? So last year, if we started Ramadan, what was it? I think March 9th or March 10th.
Uh-huh.
I think so. Yeah, somewhere. It was either March 9th or March 10th, depending on the country as well.
Okay. Next year
it's going to be March 1st or the end of Feb. So basically, it depends on the sighting of the moon, because Ramadan is calculated based on the crescent. So if it's a crescent or if it's a crescent, basically the banana.
Right. Yeah.
The curved moon. Yeah. That is how Ramadan is calculated. So depending on where you are, like for example, this year, some Arabic countries like Jordan fasted 1 day after Saudi, Palestine, I think Lebanon and Syria, and Jordan is actually in between all of them. So yeah, it's always different. It's just because
that's
how
random.
they calculate it. Yeah, but it's usually 1 or 2 days off. It's not gonna be like a week.
Right.
It's just 1 or 2 days off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
But that's how Ramadan is calculated. Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. You are forced to fast.
I'm so glad that you're saying that, because like, what the heck? Forced? What do you mean you're forced to fast?
I mean, you're obligated. You have no choice.
If
Ramadan is not something you choose to do, you have to do it. If you're a practicing Muslim, you have to.
Okay.
It's just like.
But what about all the Muslims that don't do it?
That is, at the end of the day, we don't judge. Everyone might have their own reason to not fast, but if anyone tells you that it's not a must, that is where it's wrong.
Got you.
No, it is a must. Now, there are some reasons why a person would not fast that make it halal, or basically not wrong.
Make it okay.
Yeah. For example, if a person is sick, and they need medications, you're not gonna abuse yourself to fast. That's actually, you're not allowed to fast in that situation because you're harming yourself.
Special circumstances.
Yeah, if you're traveling, there's a certain distance where if you travel that, you're also you're allowed to break your fast, basically.
Certain distance.
There's a certain distance. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, at the end of the day, I might make mistakes. So
that's. You know what? Why don't we make like a very small, quick disclaimer about that?
Yeah, my disclaimer would be that I am not an expert.
Okay.
I'm not an expert. I might make mistakes, but at the end of the day, this is like a friendly discussion at the end of the day.
A learning experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And you are a practicing Muslim at the end of the day, so that's all that matters.
So in regards to the distance, I'm actually not sure. I think I read once that it is around, 80 kilometers, something like that. If you travel more than that, then you can break your fast.
That's so odd to me.
Some other reasons would be a woman on her period, or a woman that's pregnant.
Okay.
An old person. That would also basically mean that fasting would actually hurt him more than it is beneficial for him.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So those are some reasons why fasting would be not obligatory for you.
Right.
But in all other circumstances where you're healthy and you are capable, you are forced to fast. It is not a choice.
Got you.
Wow. It is one of the 5 pillars of Islam where you are forced to do it.
How pleasant is that?
Well, fasting.
Being forced.
Being forced. Being forced. It's actually, at the end of the day, you get used to fasting. Okay. When you fast at a young age, by the time that you grow up, you will realize that your body got used to it. You do it for religion. You do it to get closer to God.
What age do you start? Fasting.
You can actually start whenever. I think I started at a young age, probably, I don't know, 8, 9 maybe.
You've been fasting since then?
Yeah, but
Jesus.
you are not. I think at the same time you are not forced to do it at such a young age, until you hit puberty. So anything that happens before puberty, you're okay. I mean, you're not obligated to do anything. That age is specifically for parents to teach their kids to strengthen their belief
Okay.
until they hit puberty. And
Gotcha.
then when they hit puberty, they are forced to do it. They have to do it in Islam. At least I think that is the age. Yeah, puberty. The age where they're
Teen.
basically a teenager. Yeah, you hit puberty.
Right.
That is when they are forced to do it, and that is when you have no choice.
Okay.
Anything younger than that is just basically strengthening your beliefs.
Got you.
Basically, yeah.
So were you, like when you were younger, your parents, they strengthened your
They
belief,
didn't-
right?
Yeah, they didn't force me. It's not like it was forcing.
Right.
It was like, of course, as a kid, you wouldn't care about fasting. But my parents were like, they made me fast at like 3 p.m. maybe, 4 p.m.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah.
know, not like the whole day fast. You know, just because you're young, you know, you don't want to fast the whole day. You wouldn't be able to.
Of course.
Some kids would have a problem with it as well.
Just for people that like are like 100% clueless about this whole thing, they're listening to this, you know, for the first time ever as a non-Muslim. What is fasting, though? What is
Okay.
fasting exactly?
Fasting is essentially Muslims are not allowed to eat, drink, or have any physical need, including sexually smoking, anything basically, from dawn till sunset. So basically from, let's say, around
4 or 5
in our
a.m.
time it's like 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. Yeah, Fajr, currently right now it's 5:30 a.m., which is dawn, Fajr. Break of dawn.
What is that word?
Break of dawn, Fajr.
Fajr.
Yeah, from Fajr till Maghrib prayer, which is sunset.
Maghrib is
Yeah,
the sunset.
Maghrib is sunset. Yeah.
Fajr is
So
sunrise.
in English is break of dawn, sunrise to sunset.
Sunrise to sunset.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are not allowed to eat, drink, smoke, or basically you have to control yourself.
Let me think about that for a second. So 4 a.m. Go ahead, please. Yeah.
5:30, specifically in California right now.
Okay, let's say
Right now,
5.
yeah.
Let's say 5 a.m. until sunset, which now it's like 7:30. Let's just say 7:30.
14 hours,
So 14 hours,
Approximately.
no food, no drinking,
nothing.
no intimacy, no smoking, nothing.
No, basically, Ramadan is there to teach you. Ramadan is like the benefits are divided into multiple categories. One of them would be the mental benefits.
Mental
health.
fortitude. Yeah.
It first of all, it helps you so much with your discipline.
I see that.
See, Ramadan, you fast for the sake of Allah. You don't fast for anyone else. Because if you don't do it for God, the second someone isn't watching you, you can easily break your fast. You can easily drink something, eat something, smoke. You can easily do whatever you want if no one is watching you.
True.
Ramadan keeps a person in check.
Yes.
Because no one else can see you. It's not like you don't have 2 minutes out of your day to actually go hide in a corner and break your fast.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
you can easily break it.
Anyone can do that, yeah.
The whole point is, first of all, we're doing it for the sake of God. It strengthens a bond, like a connection. It makes that connection stronger. You are doing it having Allah, or having the thought of Allah watching you the whole day. Regardless if it's Ramadan or not, Muslims already live by that lifestyle. But in Ramadan, it just makes it stricter.
Right.
You can't do anything. Literally, you can't do anything.
You see a lot of, I see a lot of like memes and jokes on the internet about how like these like, you know, Muslim people during the course of the year, they fuck around, they, excuse my French,
See-
they mess, they do everything. And then when it comes to Ramadan, they put the hookah away, they put the drinking, partying
Actually,
away.
The other day, I will not mention the location. We went. We were having suhoor outside, and
So for the people that don't know,
yeah, sorry.
Suhoor,
Suhoor is our last meal before
sunrise.
before sunrise. Yeah.
So you have
Usually-
it at like 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Right.
Before the adhan comes, the adhan is the call to prayer, which is a signal that we are now fasting.
Call to
Yeah.
prayer.
The call to prayer is the start of your fast.
We call
basically.
that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in Farsi we call that azan.
Adhan.
Oh, you
Adhan.
say it
Yeah,
again?
in Arabic it's adhan.
Adhan.
Adhan in Arabic. Yeah.
Adhan?
Yeah,
Azan.
azan.
Wow.
Even Turkish people, most non-Arabic most non-Arabic countries would call it azan.
Okay.
I know for a fact, I know that Turkish people call it, Pakistani call it, Indians as well. They all call it azan.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the same name. Basically.
So, yeah, same
That is
stuff.
call to prayer. That is the signal that we started our fast.
Our fast.
Yeah,
So you're having suhoor with your friends.
we're having suhoor outside. Yeah, and in the parking lot, we could smell the weed.
No.
Yeah, we could smell the weed. Like, what is that? Is that supposed to be your last meal? Is that your last meal?
What?
Because even outside of Ramadan, let's just say Ramadan is. We are not in Ramadan. You
Okay.
cannot be smoking that.
Yeah, dude. Regardless, you're not supposed to touch
have
weed.
that as your last meal or part of your last meal was just a shock to me.
That's
and
ridiculous.
Everyone around me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I feel like that's disrespectful. I don't know. But I mean, like, let's not get into
at the
all
end of the
that.
day, it's none of our business. You know, it's
Right,
between
right.
them and God and what their belief is. But we're not gonna judge them. But yeah,
Sure.
we see that too. Like, it's not like we don't realize it.
Okay,
Yeah,
got
we
you.
see that stuff happening around us. But yeah,
So okay, so there. That's what I. This whole like strictness, it comes in the month of Ramadan mainly. Then it doesn't. It's not all year long.
well, it depends on what you're talking about. Praying.
Is there any other time of the year where you're fasting besides Ramadan?
No.
That's it, right?
Or
Just-
unless you're actually doing qada, which is sorry, yeah, I'm tiqdi. We call it tiqdi.
What is that?
It is to make up your fasts that you broke in Ramadan. So, for example, a woman who gets her period in Ramadan,
Yeah.
she's not fasting until her period is done, so she can make them up.
Later on.
Yeah, whenever she wants during the year.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Or someone who's sick, whatever. As long if you didn't fast, you can make up for it.
Later on.
Yeah, as long as it's before the other Ramadan.
Oh yeah.
Before the next Ramadan.
That makes sense.
But
That
yeah.
makes sense. Okay. So Ramadan is 1 month essentially. Everyone knows that Ramadan is 1 month
It would either
typically.
be 29 or 30 days, depending on
30
the moon.
days.
Yeah.
And we just learned already that every year. Let me tell you something. I've been, I'm in a Muslim family for 23 years. I never knew what you just told me about how it rotates
Yeah.
10 days.
Yeah.
I always thought it's like random or
the
something.
Islamic calendar is just 10 days shorter than the Gregorian calendar.
And I've heard that I've heard, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but that like the Islamic calendar is like the actual calendar of like the earth. I could just be saying
Well-
something
well,
ridiculous, but is
I
that
don't
not-
know this for a fact. I do know that it is because the Islamic calendar is all based on the moon and the solar system.
Right.
So that's
right.
why it's actually more accurate than the Gregorian, because the Gregorian is based on, I think it was
bullshit.
I don't know if it's bullshit.
Based on bullshit.
It's based on something.
I'm sure. Yeah. But this is real though.
But I think the Gregorian calendar was only used in the year 1512 to be exact. Someone, you can correct my facts.
Wow,
1512. Yeah, 1512, 1510, something like that. So it's not like it's a very old calendar. Like,
Yeah.
the Islamic calendar has been there since before that, basically.
Yeah.
The Muslim countries would use it.
The OG calendar.
Yeah, you could call it OG
I'll call
calendar.
the OG. Because it's definitely before the Gregorian
Yeah,
for sure.
it is.
Okay, so we've already went into a couple of the reasons as to why people fast.
Yeah.
Because you were saying how it's mainly for the sake of God, for your connection with God.
Of
But
course.
what is the other reasons? Or Jad, what about you personally? Why do you, as a Muslim, fast?
Okay.
Because I know there's a variety of reasons, but I want to hear your
There are
reason.
so many reasons to fast. I mean, everyone's main reason should be for God, regardless of what your other reasons may be.
Right.
But when I said it is divided into multiple categories, and I mentioned the mental health benefits,
Yeah.
there's also the physical, your body, the
Detox.
benefit. Yeah, it is so good to detox
Yeah.
for detoxing, basically, because your body is just cleaned. It's just completely cleaned, except if you're like most of the Arabs, us specifically, when it's time to break our fast, we have a huge feast. That is bad. That is bad.
Stuff
The way
yourself,
that the
yeah.
Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, the way that he broke his fast was with dates and milk, just something slow and calm for the body. It's actually very good when you have dates and milk on an empty stomach, because you're preparing your body for a bigger meal, basically. Yeah.
I've seen
That's
so many people have dates
You should.
specifically
You
when
should.
they're breaking their
Yeah.
fast. I saw a video the other day of a father with his kids. They were sitting down about to have iftar. And
Everyone had
iftar,
a date?
if the kid, so there's like a whole plate, not a whole plate, a whole table, a whole spread of different foods and everything. And they were just sitting, waiting for the moment that azan comes on and then they're allowed to eat, which is sunset.
Yeah.
As soon as the kid goes to grab some food to eat, he grabs like some rice or something, I don't know. The father says,
Some?
no, you first have a
Yeah.
date.
Yeah, of course.
One date, and then you have anything else after that.
You expect, like, people would expect us, like, especially the people who don't know what Ramadan is that I've met here, everyone assumes that when we break our fast, it's like a feast, you know, like we have
Thanksgiving.
like we have something on the table waiting for us to like consume.
Dig in. Yeah.
dig in,
Of
basically.
course, yeah.
It's not the case. It's usually something calm. It's usually dates,
Small.
water, soup. You need soup. It's so good to go down, you know, on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
Something hot. It's basically, because the second you eat, if you eat something heavy, like let's say like rice and beef, for example, like the second you eat that, you feel full.
Yeah,
You feel very full.
heavy. You
Yeah.
feel heavy.
When it all goes down once and you've been hungry the whole day, it's just too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Start slow.
You
and
should
then,
start slow, calm down. You know, your body should be like having something light. you
Okay.
know, something light to just break your fast with something light.
Got you.
Yeah,
Got you.
that is how Ramadan should be. Now, for us, for example, we do a whole feast.
Yeah.
Not me personally, because I'm on my diet right now, and
All right,
Ramadan is
of course.
very good for me. Ramadan is
Okay,
excellent.
Ramadan, if you're trying to lose some weight,
yeah. Ramadan is perfect.
just practice some fasting.
Ramadan is perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like for fasting,
Yeah,
especially.
I mean, people do intermittent fasting. I think that's what they call it.
They are- yeah,
It's not Ramadan, but
exactly.
they do it.
Yeah. They put themselves through that pain.
It's
Speaking
actually
of that,
healthy. It's actually very healthy.
it is very healthy, and I'm sure there's a lot of benefits to it. Some people only have like 1 or 2 meals a day,
Yeah.
like one at like 3 p.m. and then another one at 8 p.m. when they go to bed. I personally, I like to have 3-4 meals a day, but that's besides the point. So this is what I wanted to ask you. Well, I mean, I already did. So you didn't. Okay, this whole like pain aspect of Ramadan, it's a very big deal, right? It's because me growing up, I had a lot of conversations with my mom about like the reasoning as to why people put them through this. Like, why would any sane, normal person? These are questions that I'm asking myself as a young teenager. I'm saying, why would any sane human being want to put themselves through starvation? Why would you want to do this? My mom said something beautiful, and then you correct me if I'm wrong. You tell me if this is like somewhat accurate, but she said that it's because during this month you also want to feel the pain of those before you.
Of course. Well, what do you mean by before you, to be specific?
Well, just not. I don't know if it's necessarily people
I don't think
before
she
you
meant before.
or
You
just
probably misunderstood.
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
No,
maybe it's
because
just people that are hungry in general.
in general, another important part of Ramadan is basically charity, what we call zakat, which every Muslim is also forced to pay. Zakat is basically charity, paying alms. I think you call it in English.
Okay.
Alms. It's charity. Every Muslim should do it. Forced. It's, I think, 2.5% of
Your income or something.
income in a year.
Yeah.
That is forced. You should pay it.
That's
As charity. So Ramadan basically, another aspect of Ramadan would be being nice to people, being very understanding, respectful, calm person in general. You should be that the whole year.
Yeah.
But specifically in Ramadan, it's just a calm month, you know. Everyone has to be calm and relaxed.
You're saying it's
You know?
it's exemplified during the month of Ramadan.
You should. In Ramadan, it is all about just connection, a bond between you and God, you know. And what she was talking about is that Ramadan also makes you grateful for what you have.
There we go.
Because you are
Yeah.
thirsty, hungry. If you smoke, you're nicotine deprived. If
Yeah.
you're, if you're married, you can't have any sexual interaction. It teaches you that people live like that on a normal basis.
Exactly. Yes.
So if you can't do it for 30 days,
Who are you?
now you're gonna be nice to all these people that you meet all around you, whether you
Wow.
like. So there's so many aspects of Ramadan. I mean, when you look at Ramadan and how broad it is, there are so many reasons to fast.
That's very powerful,
Yeah,
though,
it is,
man.
it is.
Putting yourself through this to experience that,
Yeah.
to know that other people are experiencing this,
Yeah.
make you grateful for what
Yeah,
you
of
have,
course.
make you realize that you have so much.
Of course.
We have so much.
Without Ramadan, Islam tells you that you should be grateful for your eyesight. You should be grateful for your arms. You should
Absolutely.
be grateful for everything.
Your breath. You're just everything. Yeah.
Everything. So Ramadan is just adding on to what's already there. It's not like Islam doesn't already have this before.
Of course.
You know.
Of course.
So,
okay.
yeah.
It's just enhancing everything. Yeah, I like
I can
that.
say enhancing, yeah.
I like that. I like that actually. Okay. Oh, okay. Here's something that, as I was writing this down, I was like, actually, because for most of these questions, I have like somewhat of an idea of what you're gonna say,
Okay.
but for this one, I genuinely, I just didn't know. I didn't know. So, and there's a couple of those questions here. One of them, let me ask you this: growing up, Jad, were you curious about Islam yourself? Or was it something that was held to a very high standard in your family that
It's actually
forced
a
it?
very nice question.
Thank you.
I would think it was already like in my family.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, my father specifically, and mother, both of them actually, a long time ago, when like they were in school, well, my parents are not that old, but when they were younger, basically, the Muslim countries would be so strict on what they learn in Islam.
Mm.
So they would like teach them a lot more than what any Muslim country would teach you now, unless you're going to Islamic school. When they were kids, when they were younger, they would be very strict on what they teach you. So they have so much knowledge that it would require a person now to actually study, to know as much as they did when they were younger.
Yes.
This was stuff they used to take in school.
It was just normal.
Yeah, just normal classes.
Standard.
Yeah.
This was the bare minimum.
This slowly started to leave the schools, and they started focusing more on like science, math. It's not like it wasn't there before.
Yeah.
It's just that.
No, even today, to this day in Iran, there's still Arabic classes,
Yeah.
Quran classes.
More-
Like you learn about Quran. You have 1 hour every week. Even when I was going to school in Iran, you had 1 hour a week dedicated to learning about the Quran.
See, you said 1 hour. They would have like 7, 8 in school, other than what they do outside.
Yeah.
In school. So while growing up, my dad, my mom both taught me a lot about Islam. A lot. So that's why it was.
They prayed and everything too.
Of course. Yeah,
right?
till now.
Even now.
So yeah, praying is forced as well. It just becomes a part of your lifestyle eventually, to the point where you wanna pray. It's
Yeah.
not just you're forced to. Because praying, not Ramadan. Praying in general is another connection to God. And as a Muslim, you are forced to pray these 5 prayers of the day.
Right.
So I would watch my father praying, my mother praying, and it would. As a kid, to you, you're just very curious.
Yeah,
On
of
what
course.
is going on.
Of course.
So that's why I would say it was in my family.
So
not
they
just-
didn't force anything. Just them being themselves, them doing their thing. You were
It makes a
naturally
kid curious when you see your dad every day doing the same thing, or your mother. It just does not make sense to you as a kid.
naturally
Yeah,
curious,
it just
though.
doesn't make sense. Yeah, but
It's different because a lot of families, a lot of Muslim families, especially, they're like you have to be like this. This is the way it is, and you must
I think
be
if
like this.
I reached a point where I am not praying in a certain age, I think my father would actually start forcing me.
Really?
In Islam, you should, but at the same time, you should force your child. But at the same time, Islam tells you to do that at a young age, so they grow up with that.
Yeah.
Because by the time if he reaches like 30 years old and he hasn't been praying his whole life, he's gonna struggle
not gonna
with it
start.
at 30.
Yeah.
If he grows up with it, it will be
Different.
like part of his life, just normal. Like I have to pray. That's it. I have to pray.
I have a lot of family members that it's just like it's a part of their it's second
just,
nature.
Exactly. It's just
like they get up early in the morning,
Fajr,
for like, and then they for sunset. Like when we're eating, when we were sitting down watching TV or something, they're like, "Excuse me, I have to go and pray right now."
Yeah.
They get up, they go, they clean their feet, their hands, obviously.
Wudu, which is I think in English ablution. I think.
Yes.
Ablution.
In Farsi we say wuzu.
Wudu. Yeah.
Wuzu. That's so funny how they're so similar, these words. Arabic and Persian are very, very similar. Let's be honest. Oh, okay. A very quick question that I have from you, like not a deep one, but a very quick one, because I don't want to forget it. In Iran, when someone's fasting and their fast finishes, we say to them, "Qabul bashe," like once they break their fast.
Okay, translate. That's not Arabic. Not even close to Arabic. Yeah, translate.
Qabul bashe. It just basically means
Qabul would be probably like, I hope God accepts it or something like that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Qabul, I hope.
Well, the translation of that in Arabic would be taqabbal Allah, which is literally, you are like, how do you say this in English? Like you are
thanking you, or
no, you're trying to say like
appreciating.
Oh, Allah accepts your fast.
Right. So
taqabbal Allah.
So when we say qabul bashe to people like that are Persian, and we say that after they're done fasting, like we hope God accepts your prayers. What do you say in Arabic? Like, what do you say to someone? Because I always want to say something to you after your fast finishes, because I can see that you're like, tired, or you're exhausted, or like you're fighting through this. What do you say to someone after
if
that?
you don't say anything to me, I'm okay. If you just offer me water, I'm okay. At the end of my fast, I'm okay. You don't
Just
have to
water?
say anything.
No, don't say anything
you
specific.
You don't have to say anything specific when you're done. No.
Okay.
When we break our fast, before we break it, we just make a quick dua, which is what I think in English
prayer.
is called supplication. When we're just, is it called supplication?
Dua?
Or did I say
dua
something?
Is prayer.
No, dua is not prayer. Dua,
it's not?
Dua is not prayer. Prayer is salah. Dua is. I don't know what's the translation of it in English. I think it is supplication.
Jamie, can you please pull it up?
And why did I look there?
Jad, why did you look there, Jad?
But yeah, I'm actually not sure.
One day I'm gonna have someone pull up things on the spot
From there. Yeah.
Have you seen an episode of Joe Rogan ever?
Yeah, I know. It's right.
They have a TV and like a guy that
the
brings
only
up.
problem is I looked there.
Yeah.
It's just
That's gonna be a new thing that I do. I'm gonna try to get all my guests to go look at the
and wait, for a good like 3-4 seconds. Just watch it.
See what the hell they think, what they say.
But yeah, I'm actually not sure what the translation of it means.
It's okay.
But yeah, there's nothing you can specifically tell me. Just give me water.
Just give you some water.
Give
maybe
me
a
water,
date.
cold water, dates and water, and then
banana.
I'm calm. Yeah, bananas actually. Is it good? Yeah, it is good.
Bananas are great.
Bananas is good. Yeah, something
for
soft, quick on the stomach is always good.
Okay.
After a long day of fasting.
That's fair. Okay. So, in regards to your family, from what I understand, they were just doing their thing.
Yeah.
And you naturally became curious, which I believe this is how it should be in most families. Like you shouldn't, because if you force, because I understand, Jad, when you were talking about how like you should or you're supposed to do it, like you must do it. I get that, but if you tell someone that they must do something, it's like reverse psychology. They don't want to do it. It
depends if you already strengthened the belief,
the foundation.
In this case, Islam, the foundation, basically in that kid, and you put it in his mind ever since he was a kid, and then one day he decided he didn't want to pray. That's when you force him. That's when you force him. If you did everything you could knew nice about it and you never forced him, and then one day he just decided he doesn't want to, that is when he should be forced.
Okay, that's great.
If he was someone...
What do you mean by forced, though? Are you being serious?
No, not like forced. It's not gonna hold the kid and just make him pray. I meant like take him with you to the mosque.
Okay.
You're gonna tell him you're gonna have to pray. We're gonna have to pray. Basically, yeah, that is something you should do at a young age. You can only do that if in his childhood, that's critical age, young, from 5 to like 10, let's say, from 5 to 13. If they were taught well, or they saw what's going on, you explained what Salah is, you explained Islam, the Quran, everything in general, and they have that in them, and one day they decided they didn't want to, that's when they have to be forced. That's personal. This has nothing to do with religion. This is my personal belief.
Okay.
Just me and my family, my kids, basically.
Oh, okay.
That's what I want to do.
So this is not like what it says in the Quran.
No, I'm actually not. In the Quran, you should force them. And not in the Quran, the Hadith, I think. I'm actually not going to make that mistake and say if it's in the Quran, Hadith, I'm not sure.
Sure.
But there is an age, which is puberty, they should be forced to pray. I'm actually not sure where.
I actually have chills right now because you literally just perfectly set me up for the next question, which is what I was going to ask. Like, you literally just did it perfectly. I was going to ask you, Jad, if you had kids, would you force them to pray? And you're telling me right now, like, you would tell them like they have to pray. What if I'm giving you a hypothetical situation here? You explain to your kids from a very young age about God, about not God, just God, but like Islam
I have to be
as a
doing
whole.
a good job as well.
But wait, what if you did the best job? What if you did the best job and they still, at the end of it, they're like, this is not for me. I don't want to be a part of this. I respect you, Father, with your beliefs, but me as your son, I don't want to do all this. What would your reaction be then?
I actually don't know. Because I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
New fear unlocked.
I'm at a point where, like, I've never thought about that because, like, I'm assuming my kid would never tell me that because he sees his father. Like, I've never thought of that. Like, it just doesn't cross my mind. I think at that point I would just be devastated. That I have done my best. And then one day he wakes up and he's like, this is not for me. That's not going to work with me too.
You're not my son anymore.
I don't want to sound like it's cruel, but like every father wants their son to be better than them.
Of course.
Your father wants you to be better than him.
Yes.
My father wants me to be better than him. So if I am slacking or was slacking in a specific thing as a child, when I see my kid do that, I would stop them.
Wow.
Just because you want them to be better than you, basically.
Of course.
Yeah, no father is going to ever be jealous of his son.
But what do you mean by better? What do you mean by better then?
So,
like he believes in God more than you?
Yeah, not essentially believe in God more than me. I meant that in a more general aspect as well. Like in everything in life. If I was praying when I was younger, I would also want him to be like me.
Right.
Every father wants their son to be like them or better than them.
Of course.
I don't want to see him slacking. Even this goes to my daughter as well. It's just something I've never thought of what I would do at that stage. But I'm not gonna be happy with it or okay with it. I'm not gonna be like, you can do whatever you want. That's not gonna work because we just don't come from the same. In our culture, that's not gonna work. In our culture, that's not gonna work.
Oh my God! I love hearing this.
My parents are in control of me up until end of life. Basically.
What?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. We in Islam it teaches you obey your parents regardless of what age you are, even if you have all the money in the world, if whatever the circumstance might be, whether you're poor or rich.
But what
strong,
if they're wrong,
weak,
Jad? What if they're wrong?
Depends on what they're doing. If the only time in Islam, I think, or one of the few times where you can disobey or not listen to them is if they are going against Islam.
Oh.
In Islam, that is the only reason why you can say no or you don't want to listen to your parent. If they go against Islam, which is actually very rare because that means that your parents are out of the fold of Islam.
Right.
So,
which is like they're not.
So that's not necessarily. That's why I'm telling you. In general, you can never say no to them or disrespect them or do anything basically against them.
Because they're following the rules. They're following the same.
So it's not just following the rules, they're your parents. they're your parents. It's not like you reach a certain age where you are more wise than them, or you are in control of them. It's just not possible.
You don't think you can come to an age where you're more wise than your parents?
I can be more wise than them when they were my age, but I can never be more wise than them when they're
now
40 and I'm 20. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
The reason I say this is because
So I know a lot more than them when they were 20, but like now in general, any lesson you take from your father or your mother, it's
a good one. It's always a solid lesson.
In some situations, it might not be perfect because they didn't live through it. It's different generations, different everything.
Of course.
In some situations, but I'm talking in more general, broader view. You always listen to them.
Of course, you obey your that's just like basic parenting number one.
Yeah.
It's like you obey your parents.
Yeah.
As a son, as a daughter, you should obey your parents.
There are some aspects, just because I don't want to be misunderstood.
Yeah.
There are some things where you don't have to necessarily let them take control of. For example, like on the lowest thing I could say, like what you're studying in school, for example. Your major, for example.
Okay, that's like a great example.
That's like something you want to do for your future. That's like a personal thing.
If you wanted to be an artist one day,
yeah,
you'd be like, and your parents didn't like that. I mean, it's fine, right? Or if your kid let's say your kid wants to be a musician.
My parents were very lenient towards what I want to study, what my sister wants to study, everything.
But your major is a great major.
Yeah,
though. That's why.
I'm telling you because I have other friends or people I've met where their parents force them to study something specific
that they don't like.
Yeah, that they don't like.
Right.
So, and then they force them to study that major that the father wanted or what the father works. So my parents never did that. They were just very lenient with whatever I wanted to do.
Jad, I feel like if I meet your parents, I would literally fall in love with them. They seem like such sweet people.
Very calm, relaxed people, my parents.
Calm, relaxed, and they don't seem like they forced you into anything.
No.
It seems like you came to this whole conclusion, you came to these beliefs by yourself. That's what I'm just trying to...
Of course, they were the core.
Right.
They were the core.
I'm sure that they laid out the foundation for you. They set up good things. But they didn't... You wanted it yourself at the end of the day. All I'm saying is that you should be able to, if you have a kid, they should get there themselves. They should arrive there themselves. Me personally, Jad, I'll tell you, okay? I have had... My whole thing with ethics and, religion and these moral values and God is that I have a hard time believing that there's someone watching out for me. I want to believe that. I want to be just like you. I swear to God, if he's up there, I swear to God, I don't know. To you, there's no doubt, obviously, but to me, I have my doubts on that.
It's just very funny how you say, I swear to God.
I know, yeah. I said, I swear to God, and then I'm like, that's...
Just keep going.
I swear to me, okay? I swear on my own life, I have had hours long debates with my ethics teacher in the middle of class. I told you, every week we had 1 hour of ethics class. Our teacher would come and try to teach us the Quran, and I would stand there arguing with this guy.
Well, what are things you would argue?
Just about the validity of everything. You're telling me that in the base, in the whole, in the general scope of things, you're telling me this. You're telling me that if you're good, you should be good, and you're going to go to heaven. And then if you're bad, there's a spot for you in hell. Yeah. Okay? And then we have our Prophet Muhammad, and then there's the Quran, of course, and then we have the Quran, that is the word of God, that's the word of Allah, and whatever is in the book of God, whatever is in the word of Allah is correct, and there's no contradiction.
Yeah.
But I've seen the contradictions in the Quran. I've seen it with my own eyes, the things that they say one thing over here, and then on another verse they say another thing. I'll give you an example. In one part, it says that man was created from blood. And then in another part, they say that man was created from clay.
Well, man is created from clay. So essentially, I've never read anything that says man is created from blood.
Jamie, pull it up right now, please.
Oh my God, I looked again.
I don't know if I have to pull it. And then in another one, they say that man comes from nothing.
Okay, well, those are three different perspectives. First of all, I'm not an expert on
In
Quran.
three different verses.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on Quran.
Okay.
That's three different things. Man comes from nothing is true. Man comes from clay is true. Man comes from blood. I don't know what that is.
Wait, how can man come from blood and clay though?
No, I'm telling you what blood is. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know about that one because I don't think I've ever read that, or maybe I don't remember it. Man from blood
Sure.
does not make sense to me. I mean, it's probably in a different context in the Quran. In Arabic, it's something else because I genuinely don't remember that.
How does man comes from blood doesn't make sense to you, but man comes
It's
from
not that it
clay
doesn't make
makes
sense to me. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense to me. I'm saying that I never.
Oh, you just never
I
seen
just
it.
don't remember seeing
Oh, okay.
man comes from blood. I'm
Okay.
telling you, it's probably something else in Arabic, different
Yeah.
context, different words. The Quran is not the same in Arabic that it is in English.
Right, there's a lot of different versions.
Arabic is such a no. Those are for the English. The translations in the Quran, there's only one Quran in Arabic.
Okay.
There is no version of the Quran. There is only one Quran that has been dated back to the time of the Prophet. It has never changed. If the Quran changes, it would be the end of the world for us. It's just impossible to change.
Okay.
Yeah. The English translations, though, they differ because there's more than one person doing it. So it might differ with a word or two.
Right, right.
Yeah. So that's why I'm telling you, in Arabic, I don't remember reading that, or in that context, I just don't.
Okay, wait. Compulsion in religion.
Oh, I still didn't finish the man from clay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead then.
So we believe that man was created from clay. But at the same time, when you said man was created from nothing, it can mean a different thing. Because we believe in Islam, if Allah says to something be, it will be. Which is in Arabic, kun fayakun. That's it. If He says be, it will be. That is what we believe in Islam.
Okay.
So man comes from nothing basically is the same thing as kun fayakun, which is basically be, so be. If Allah says be, it will be. So that's what it can mean as man comes from nothing. Clay, we all believe that man is made from basically clay as well. Like that we were created from basically nothing. Clay. That's just literally that. That is like literally how it is. The first creation of Allah was Adam, Prophet Adam.
And he was made from clay.
Yeah, made from clay. Basically made from clay.
Do you like personally, like I know you're like a computer science, do you believe that? As like an educated, like a college educated.
I believe everything in the Quran, of course.
But wait, but how
See,
does that make
second-
sense to you
the
though?
second
How does a human make from clay?
The second you let's just go back to that point for a second.
Okay.
The second a Muslim says, I don't believe this in the Quran or that in the Quran, you are not a Muslim. You can't contradict
Really?
the Quran. Yeah, you can't contradict the Quran. You're allowed to study it. You're allowed to ask questions. Of course, the Quran encourages you to actually study, read the Quran, question, ask. No one wants to blind, like, the Quran doesn't ask you to be a blind believer. It asks you to read and study it.
To have reason behind these
of
things.
course.
So then what's
Because if you don't have a reason, then you're just blindly following.
well, that's what I
That's
think
not
you're,
a strong belief.
Is that not what? Okay, well then,
Yes,
right now what you're telling me is
You are
blindly
telling me
following.
about man from clay. That's
Yeah.
something I cannot comprehend or you cannot comprehend. What I can comprehend are verses in the Quran that show you, for example, the star named Tariq in the solar system. There's a star named Tariq. Tariq in Arabic means knocking.
Okay.
If you see a video on YouTube for a star that they just only discovered, I think a couple of years back, it is a star that makes the sound of knocking, and they have like a recorded video of it up, and that's not like biased. It's NASA. It's not like biased.
And they've written that in the Quran.
That is written in the Quran. Yes, the Sama wa Tariq. It's actually it's a star named in the Quran. Do you know that 2/3 of the stars in the sky are actually Arabic?
What?
Did you not? They're Arabic names, because the
What?
when people on this side of the world in history were too busy like making fires with wood, Muslims and Arabs were navigating the deserts with astrolabes. Do you know what an astrolabe is?
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah. They
can-
were navigating them using the stars, so
Yes.
they were too advanced,
yeah.
compared to people on this side of the world.
Absolutely.
So-
they were ahead of the game.
So 2/3 of the stars in the sky are actually named in Arabic. Tariq is one of them. There's actually so many. There's
Okay.
actually so many of them. So the miracles of the Quran are actually, the Quran is filled with miracles. Have you read the Quran before?
I've yes, not like obviously all of it. I've read like certain passages, certain surahs. I think I can like recite like a full surah if I
Surah.
wanted to, but like I can't do it like bar for bar, word for word. But so you're just saying that like even if there are contradictions, or like let's not even call it a contradiction. Let's just say that there are some things that we cannot understand. We just should accept
I'll make
it.
it easier for you. I think 80% or 85% of the Quran is something you can prove on spot.
It is, yes, yeah,
Stuff
sure.
like stars, women getting pregnant, sperm and egg,
Yeah.
mountains, wind. Basically, those things are stuff you can prove with science. Science has only discovered these like 50, 100 years ago. Not much.
It's modern, yeah.
Not much. It's
Yeah.
modern.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are things that you can be. 85% of the Quran. 15% of the Quran is ambiguous, neither wrong
Yes.
or correct. Stuff that you cannot comprehend. Like the jinn, for example. You know what jinn is?
No. I thought you
Jinn-
said gym, honestly. Jinn, what is jinn?
Jinn. How do you? It's like jinn are other creatures basically that we cannot see as
Ghosts?
humans. You can say ghosts because that is like a translation for it in English, but basically those are other creatures that live, eat, worship just like a humans, but we have a veil that we cannot see them.
Okay.
So those things in Islam are only like 15% of the Quran. So to me, as a logical person, if 85% can be proved and 15 is neither correct or wrong because a human cannot comprehend it, then that Quran is right. You know, that's how a logical person at least would think.
That's
Me. Sorry, not a logical person.
no. That's I hear you, but I look at that 15% and I think, what is going on here? I get where you're coming from, because if 85% is good, like it's good enough. It's good enough. It's good enough.
Yeah, but it's not like 15% is wrong. It's just that 15% can't be proven. That's it. Things a human cannot comprehend. Can you comprehend hellfire or heaven or?
It's not even just about the comprehension part. It's about things that they just like. Can I tell you what my vision of the Quran is? And I'm gonna keep it as like short and as respectful as possible. Okay? Because no, listen, I have no beef with with Islam as a whole.
Yeah.
I respect it. Most of my family members are, they pray as well.
Mm-hmm.
But me sitting at the dinner table with my mom trying to tell me about God and the Quran, I naturally started to have a lot of questions in my head. Okay? And like, for example, I'll just give you the most basic one that I actually searched up like last week before you came. In the Quran, it says, and my mom has told me this too, as she reads it. She says that in the Quran it says, if you believe in me, God says, if you believe in me, that's great. If you don't believe in me, that's also great. Like, that's fine. He says he doesn't force anyone to believe in him. He says there's no punishment for someone that doesn't believe in him. And then in other places, there is a place where it says, but it is mandatory. You are supposed to believe in it. And those that do not believe, wrath of my enemies or whatever.
First of all, Quran is very big. So it depends on the context. It depends on what you're reading. I'm not saying that those verses don't exist. I'm just saying it depends in that context and basically.
Well, the message is the same regardless of the context.
In some areas that message is very clear.
Yeah.
When the Quran states at the end of the day, I am not an expert. If I make a mistake, forgive me.
That's all. Yeah, that's a disclaimer already.
In general, the Quran, forcing someone to accept Islam is a big no-no.
Right.
Big no. You can't.
I've heard of that.
You can't.
Yeah.
The Muslim who does that, it is a huge sin. You're not gonna get a reward for that.
Exactly.
At all. It is a huge sin. So forcing someone to convert to Islam, or what we call revert to Islam, is completely wrong. So when the Quran or what you are reading says that you don't have to believe in me, it is basically, I think, most probably talking about the compulsion part, that someone is forcing you to convert. That is when it is okay not to, I think, basically convert. When you're forced.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be forced. I'm telling you, you should not be forced.
Yeah.
In to at least to most of what I've read from scholars, there are some situations where a non-believer would not be necessarily punished. If the message has never been revealed to them, they never got the message, they were someone who lives on an island that has no source of like
no access to all this
technology. Basically, those people they have a different form of how they will be judged on the Day of Judgment. At least that is what I remember. If someone receives the message, has the chance to read more, has the chance to ask more questions, all right, and he reaches a point where he is convinced, but he cannot convert, or he doesn't want to convert out of, let's say, stubbornness or whatever, that person, I think, is gonna go to hellfire. At the end of the day, we can't judge. me, I say that, but I might be completely wrong. It is not my choice. It is not any scholar's choice.
Right.
It's just no one's choice except Allah and Himself. That's it. He will judge. He is the best judge. There is nothing like Him.
Of course.
So, if I'm trying to be fair, or you are trying to be fair, there is nobody that can be as fair as Him on how He is gonna judge these people. So,
you just brought up a big topic right now.
Yeah.
The Judgment Day.
yeah, Day of Judgment. One of the 6 articles of Islam, of faith.
I have some very strong thoughts about that whole thing.
Okay. I think every major religion has a Day of Judgment. I think for like...
Excuse me, but what does that even mean, brother? Like, what the hell?
It's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. It's literally the end of the world. That's the Day of Judgment.
Judgment Day, isn't that the day that you're judged, essentially, if you're going up or down, right?
Yeah.
Or you're going hell or heaven?
Yeah, that is the end of the world.
Okay. Oh my God. So many doors have just opened right now. You don't even know what you've done right now with this. Like, and I love that I'm talking to you about this because you clearly are very strong. You have very strong beliefs, clearly. And yes, of course. And I love it because you're... Oh my God, I love it specifically because you're not like, you're open to having these conversations.
Yeah.
I literally would sit with my mom and she would get pissed at me, bro. Pissed at me. My ethics teacher would get pissed at me sometimes. You can literally ask my friends that were there. Because I just had questions. I'm just like wondering more and more about this. And I want to know how they know for certain that this is the way it is.
What's belief? It's just a strong faith. It's part of your faith.
That's what it is.
It is your faith. Yeah.
It's faith.
It is.
I was okay. About a year ago or 2 years ago, I was sitting in a jacuzzi with my friends. Okay, and then
just having deep thoughts.
Just deep thoughts, deep talks, just the whole thing. We were just sitting and chilling, just relaxing. Okay, and it was 4 of us, and then this random guy with his buddy, they come into the jacuzzi as well. I'm in an apartment complex, so it's a public one. And they start talking to us, and they're Christians. And they're practicing Christians. So they go to Bible study, they go to church every week and everything. And so naturally, I start asking this guy some questions about his faith, about his belief. And I'm like, how do you just so casually accept this? How do you know, there are some contradictions or some things that don't make sense, maybe, even in the Bible. Even in the Bible, there are some contradictions as well that I've read online. How do you just turn a blind eye to these things and you just fully devote yourself to Jesus Christ? How do you do this? And you know what he told me, Jad? He said that little area between fact and believing, that little gap, it's called faith. And you just have to have it. Even if it's not written anywhere, even if it's not set in stone that this is how it is, or there's no proven facts for it. I mean, there's no one. It's not like anyone can prove that there is a God. I'm sorry, but you can't.
But you also can't prove that there isn't a God.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's my whole argument. It's that you can't prove either way. It's so like, why are you so sure about something that you can't prove?
Okay, I'll tell you Islam.
Okay. But you get my question though, right?
Yeah, but to me it's just completely unnecessary. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
What?
In general for Muslims.
What? Okay.
Because if Allah one day decides to appear in the sky, you know, what is the point of your faith? You're gonna be forced to believe in him.
Yeah.
You know, like if he just shows up one day, then you're gonna be forced to believe in him.
It's not forced. You will believe in him.
You will. Like there is nothing that will show you that like
that's bullshit. No,
you
that's
would be
real
stupid
now.
to say there isn't a God.
Right, right.
You know, that becomes silly at that point. So Islam doesn't necessarily say it doesn't say that Allah has to appear for you to actually start believing in Islam. No. Allah says, I have shown you multiple signs. Wherever you look around.
Is me.
Did this come from physics? Did this come from a scientist that wants to prove the Big Bang Theory or the Darwin evolution?
What? Can you not use that theory? Is that not a real theory?
I'm sorry, they're theories at the end of the day. I would rather believe in a book that was 1,400 years ago from an illiterate person, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, peace be upon him, who managed to utter these words. All right,
you believe
the revelation.
That's more believable than the scientists.
That is more believable to me than a scientist with theories. Theories. I'm not talking about facts. Theories. At the end of the day, how the world started, evolution, humans. This is all theories. Nothing proven from them. It's a theory. It's not Darwin's fact. It's Darwin's theory. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. So these are all theories.
But yours is a theory too. Your whole thing is a theory.
When
the prophet, like I don't want to, like, I'm just being.
It's not disrespectful. It's okay.
Thank you. Thank you, because I hope you know I've obviously I have these questions, and sometimes obviously I just like get a little energetic, but I'm wondering, how do you know it's not a theory yourself? The theory of God. The theory of Islam.
Okay, to me, when I try to explain it to you, when an illiterate person who cannot read or write.
Yeah, how does that make sense?
Yeah, Prophet Muhammad is illiterate.
Right. So how is he writing a whole book for you?
He didn't write a book. He uttered it. Right? Based on.
He authored it?
He uttered the words.
Uttered it. Uh-huh.
Yeah. From Revelation. Okay, the Quran came down on a span of 23 years. This is another part of Ramadan. Ramadan is very important to Islam or for Muslims, because it is the first month where the Quran was revealed. But the Quran in total was revealed over a span of 23 years. Prophet Muhammad, we call in Arabic, Wahi would come down on him. Wahi is I actually have no explanation to what Wahi is.
Would come down with what? Wait.
I don't know what Wahi is in English. It's just basically, okay, Prophet Muhammad, he would have revelations from Angel Gabriel. In English it's Gabriel, in Arabic it's Jibreel.
Okay.
Angel Jibreel. He would reveal the Quran to him. Prophet Muhammad revealed it to the Sahabas. They all collected the Quran and they gave it to us.
So that's more believable than these scientists talking about the Big Bang.
So how does a man 1,400 years ago, Mashi, sorry, that was Arabic, a person coming from 1,400 years ago know all these things about the world? And
I don't think
so. Was
he
it
did.
just a coincidence?
I don't think he did know those things.
So it was a coincidence then. It was a coincidence that the sperm and egg are gonna give you a child.
Okay, there is a reason. There is a logical explanation for that.
What is the logical? What is it?
Dude, what is? Okay, I'm not gonna say that I know the Big Bang like on the back of my hand, because I don't know the whole details of the Big Bang. But I do know that in there it explains that from this explosion, from this huge catastrophic event.
By the way, I don't want to make this mistake, because the Big Bang is somewhat in the Quran somewhere.
They talk about it in there?
Yeah, you
No
say they
way.
talk about it. Yeah, it's.
God talks about. I mean, how do you? What should we refer to?
I'm actually not sure. I'm actually not sure what is exactly said about the Quran. About the Big Bang in the Quran. See, in general, Quran is something you don't want to make a mistake when you're trying to remember a verse. So
Of course.
I'd rather be quiet about it than actually trying to remember what it says about that specific thing.
That's fair.
Because that's a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would be spreading false info. Yeah, I've heard Muslim scholars speak about this. They speak about the Big Bang in some shape, way, or form.
They do.
Yeah, but those are scholars, not someone like me. You know.
No, Jad. Come on, you're a scholar at this
I
point.
am not a scholar.
Jad, if I play this video for scholars, they're gonna say this guy's a scholar. This guy's one of us.
No.
Okay, they would say that about you.
No. I would strive to be like them, but like these people are dedicated to the religion. They study it. They.
Of course, they devote their lives to it.
Yeah,
of course.
Something.
Jad, I want you to know, like I appreciate the value that Islam brings to our world. It's not it's a good message that it's trying to be spread.
Yeah,
it's not like it's a bad. Yeah, it's family values. You know, respect for your elders, respect for yourself, taking care of yourself,
your guests, your neighbors.
Yes.
It's basically a lifestyle.
Charity, like it wants you to. I respect everything that it stands
Lifestyle.
for. Yeah. Okay. But I'm saying that you need to have a religion in order to stand for those things. Does there need to be someone that watches over you like a cop, or like, let's say your protector? You know, we look at cops over here, they're supposed to protect and serve us. You know, our Lord and Savior, if he's God, Jesus Christ, whatever, they're there to protect us. They're the forgiving, they're the merciful. I want to know why in our society we feel like we need to have that in order to be just good people.
Okay,
we can't be good without being good.
A very straightforward answer. It might help you. It might make you understand. It might change your whole perspective on this.
Give me the most straightforward.
It might not even help you. You might just be like, "What did you just say? I don't." your sentence does not make sense. So my answer to this is, let's go back in time. Very far back, all right? When humans were not uttering words, they were just making sounds to each other to help each other understand. You know? Yeah.
Like the caveman era. Let's just say
Basically,
caveman.
just somewhere very far.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
How do these people, or basically that at that time, know what is right or wrong?
That's a great question.
Why can't I go out right now and rob a person since I need money? Someone had to come throughout time and teach everyone that this is right or wrong. It couldn't have been a human, because a human is controlled by what he wants to do.
But evolution.
Don't tell me evolution. Evolution is a theory.
Wait. What? What do you mean it's a theory? Evolution.
Darwin's evolution theory. It's a theory. That doesn't just. It's not a fact. It's not a fact. Evolution has to say that we come from monkeys and stuff. That's something else. I'm talking about the first person that
No. I'm not even saying about the monkey evolution. Like, obviously that's part of it, but I'm saying that us as human beings, we eventually realize what's right and wrong. No. After generation after generation after generation, we develop. I don't know. Is there not? You're saying we're like, how does it happen that we didn't stay cavemen? You know, we got a hold of things. You're saying that how we eventually got a hold of things is from the Word of God?
Initial principles, these like principles of how to live your life, so and what is right or wrong, comes from religion.
Do you know how I think that? Dude, you just said the best thing. I think that someone was smart enough back in the day, back in those times, to say like, all right, this is pretty fucking chaotic.
Okay, you think it's someone. I think it's our prophets.
That's essentially. I think it was just someone that was like that realized like we need to have some control on this planet. We can't just all be savages over here.
Someone had to come and say this is right or wrong.
Right, and I don't know. I thought that someone was a human being.
Yeah, religion. To us, that's religion. That is religion. From our first
religion says that this is like the Word of God, though. This is the word that came from our holy power above, and this is what we're supposed to follow now.
Yeah.
Right?
In Islam,
We couldn't have come up with that ourselves, is what you're saying? We couldn't have even thought of that ourselves. We needed to have if that's what you believe, that's fine.
I do.
But that's...
I do. Listen, I will tell you this. If you want to compare religious countries, whether they were Orthodox Christians or Muslims or basically any religion, if a country is very strict on its religion, compare it to a country that is mostly atheist. What do they have? They have high crimes.
That's not true necessarily.
Okay, maybe not in the aspect
European
of maybe
countries.
Sweden or Norway. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
Those countries are.
They're fine.
My opinion on what I think religion does to a country is that it keeps everyone in check. You know.
Yes.
The second,
two in check sometimes.
the second that you are not watched by the government, you still have some sort of. You cling to a higher power. You're the second no one is seeing you. You still know that God is seeing you, so you still can't do anything wrong. For example, it is much deeper than that, but that's like a very general
surface level.
Yeah, a surface level explanation. You know, I don't know how to explain it. I'm trying my best to explain it to you.
Dude, yeah, no,
But
you're doing a great job.
To me, I believe that the religion is essential, and in Islam, we believe that was the only reason we were created, to worship Allah. There's no other reason. So Islam, to us, this world is just it's eventually gonna end. So we live for 70, 80 years.
My mom is very excited about the afterlife.
That is what every Muslim strives for. You meet your creator. You're in heaven. You're done with everything. This world was just a test. 70 years of living, that's nothing. How long has the earth been alive? So to us, it's just this life is nothing.
Jad, I really, oh my God, dude, I don't know what I have to do to get to that. I'm telling you, I want to believe that. Okay? I want to believe that it's just be good and
that there's an end or an afterlife rather than working my whole life, eventually reaching the age of 70 or 80, dying, and there's nothing. So what happens?
That's what I believe happens.
Yeah, see, you're boring.
But I want to make the most of my life now. Here, the way that you're making it sound, you're just waiting to die.
No, I'm not waiting to die.
You sound like you're excited to die or something.
I didn't say I'm excited to die.
It's like you're waiting for that time.
I'm saying heaven to us is just a completely something you can't comprehend. It's just a beautiful. That's the end. Heaven never ends to us.
Do you believe?
So,
okay, go ahead. No.
Yeah, we just believe that this life is just temporary. We are trying to pass a test here, and then that's it.
What if you fail that test?
If you fail that test, then hellfire.
Then you go to hell, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's where I have trouble right there, because do you know how many people we have in this world to this day? You believe that bad people, eventually they're going to reach their consequence, right? They're eventually going to deal with. Right.
If someone does not deal with it here, he will be found in the afterlife. God's always there. So whoever got away with anything bad, you're not gonna get away with it. You just.
I really isn't that that's the ideal situation.
That is justice,
right? But we both know that justice is not always reached, right? We both know there are people that are bad that never get caught. They live their lives and they stay alive until the day that they die.
This is why you need God. This is why you need God.
I know.
Because eventually they run away here. They do something and no one finds out about them. But
right.
What after? What happens after? Exactly. In Islam, it tells you clearly what happens.
But okay, but then there's people that just don't believe in that, and then they just go and they do their bad thing regardless. I'm saying that it's a good way to enforce the good. It's great, but why we can't just be good just to be good? We have to have this
then we'll go
lingering.
Back to the same point.
You think so?
Who made good and bad at the start? It's just the same thing.
I don't know.
I personally don't believe that any human came along if religion wasn't there, and he just said that this is bad and this is good. just doesn't make sense to me. Everyone reached a certain level of deciding what's good or bad. It had some sort of connection to religion, whether it was Islam or any other religion. We believe like that is the reason for what made it right or wrong. And you mentioned, I actually forgot, I wanted to come back to it because you were like, I would rather enjoy my life right now. You think you're the only happy one? Wallah. I'm happy too.
No, you're happy. I
mean, everyone
But
I know is happy. We're all happy. We're all chilling.
Of course. As a matter of fact, I feel like the people that are with God are, if anything, they're happier.
Of course.
Than the ones without Him. Yeah.
That's
what I've seen.
Something they have someone to go back to.
Yeah.
They have no one.
My mom always likes to use Stephen Hawking as an example. You obviously know him and how he's very much against just religion and everything. And she's like, look at him. Look at him.
Yeah.
This is where he's at now.
Whether it was Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, look at him.
Yeah, he's crippled. Like
he died. Man. Yeah. Didn't he die? He died.
Rest in peace, Stephen Hawking. Yeah. Okay, I'm learning a lot about you, Jad. By the way,
like, me too, brother. Me too. Likewise.
We're learning a lot from each other right now. Okay, good. All right. Okay. Here's a very common thing. So, around the world, you go on the news. There's a bunch of different things that people are saying. Especially nowadays, there's like unlimited access. Anyone can say anything. Anyone can say anything now. Yeah. With no repercussions almost. Like you can just fucking say whatever you want. On the internet, there are a lot of very common misconceptions that people have about Islam as a whole.
Yeah.
Like with terrorism,
bad misconceptions.
Yes, violence, oppression. People are starting to wake up, but continue. They are.
Continue, yeah.
No, people they're realizing now. Yeah, because it doesn't take a fucking genius to realize like those things just aren't true. like the fuck. So I wanted to ask you about it. I wanted to ask you what you think about like what the media says about like Islam as a whole, not just the media, but the general public and some people that are uneducated about the topic. What do you think about a couple of these things that they said? For example, one. Islam promotes violence.
Can I answer that question or do I have to wait for all of them?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, yeah. I think there was a scholar who was an atheist. Not a scholar, sorry, but he was a scientist and an atheist at the same time. So it's an unbiased opinion.
Mm-hmm.
He read the Quran, the Bible, and he concluded that in Islam, the Bible, or for Christians at least, their verses, the verses they have in the book, the verses about war are actually 5.4%, and for Judaism it was like 3.6, 3.7, and Islam it was only like 2.4, 2.3.
Wow.
Yeah, so if anything, Islam actually
least.
Yeah. By the way, in Islam, I actually read a lot about this, but I cannot repeat the verses just because I don't remember them exactly, or I don't know how I would say them in English, so I'm not gonna misquote the Quran.
Sure.
There are more rules on what not to do in Islam, in war, than there are on what you can do.
Wow.
Yeah. You are not allowed to harm a tree in war. That is how
is that for real?
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah. You can't burn a tree, you can't harm a tree. Yeah. I'm telling you, there are more things not allowed in war than there are allowed.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't basics, of course, you can't hit anyone that is not engaged in war. You cannot hurt a woman or a child. You cannot hurt a man that is not engaged in the war, an older person. You cannot hurt an animal. You cannot hurt trees. You cannot hurt. You have so much you can't do in a war. So those verses are all out of context.
Yeah, of course, of course. Okay.
Yeah. And do you see us Muslims going around raging war on anyone, and we are the fastest growing religion? I think if we actually wanted to do that, we could easily take over the world.
Like, statistically speaking, you could. like actually, you could.
Yeah,
Because
that's
Muslim is the most. It's the leading religion in terms of just like number of people that are Muslim.
The fastest growing religion, converting wise. Total the population though.
Yeah.
Christianity is more than Islam over the world. Yeah.
I
By
swear you're wrong.
No, I'm right. It's by.
Wait, are you sure?
It's just by a small amount. Yeah, by a small amount. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Oh my God! Why?
We're getting there.
I feel like I was
but at the
grown
same
up.
time, it's not like Muslims are the minority.
No,
Muslims
no.
are literally the second biggest thing. I think. Yeah, the second.
Brother, I am like, oh my God, Jamie. No way.
Stop doing that.
Jamie, what's the leading religion in the world?
I'm actually not sure. But yeah, Christianity is bigger than Islam.
Okay.
But
that's
Islam
fair.
is growing faster. So eventually by 2050, 2040, we'll be
The number
at
one.
the same rate. I think if we continue at the same rate, we'll be bigger by then.
Do you believe that? Okay, that's actually okay. Do you believe that Islam is like growing now, or do you think that? Because I feel like nowadays, everywhere I look, I'm seeing an atheist or an agnostic person. So do you think that
No, everywhere I look, it's
more people are like converting?
yeah. It's
Really?
actually very nice. It's actually very nice. I see people who know nothing about this actually learning a lot and converting because they're more exposed to our world and our ways now.
But as time goes by, don't you think we're getting more disconnected from those values than we are connected?
The new generation is just a whole different like
Right.
world. It's just completely different. But
Especially from our parents' time.
yeah, but like especially the older people who are older than us, when they see the world over here, other countries, and they start comparing it to our Muslim countries, because they are now more exposed to them, they realize they like that.
Yeah.
They would prefer being over there, or being from those.
Wait, being
people.
over there, compared to over here?
I don't know if it's necessary. It depends on what country. I mean, Arab countries are almost 23, 24 countries, so you can't really say over there.
Yeah.
It can be depending on where they are. Like you see a lot of expats going to Dubai, for example, or Saudi Arabia.
Expats? What's expats?
People who are American, for example, here, and then they go work there as an American, and they live their whole life. Not their whole life. They live for a certain amount of time there.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're American. They just go there to work at that company.
Yeah, I see that, but like as a whole,
And
in
then when
society,
they come back, you see they change. Like they completely like it.
yeah.
Some people might hate it. It's just in general. You see people liking it too.
Of course. No, yeah. I think it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Honestly, it does go both ways.
Some people might have a bad experience. Some people might have a good experience. I'm not trying to tell everyone that you're gonna go and love it. I'm just saying.
Of course.
If you grow up here, and you go to the Middle East, you'll just be very surprised of
You'll be
what
grateful.
you heard and what you're seeing.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. oh my God.
Yeah.
100%.
You're just
Like
surprised.
Iran is the perfect example.
Yeah.
Like when I
I've
talk
never
to
been
people,
Iran, though.
you've never been to, dude.
I have nothing in Iran to actually go and see.
I have
I
a
mean-
cousin that lives here, never been to Iran. He's Persian though. When I was there, he called me. This is my cousin, okay? This is like someone that's Persian. He literally calls me and he asks me, Sean, are there escalators and elevators in
He
Iran?
probably thinks you guys live in deserts.
He thought we're in the fucking villages.
It's okay. I had people assume that of me too.
They don't
It's okay.
know. They don't know. Like these are like full blown countries, and it's just what the media portrays. It's always a negative image. It's not like they're gonna tell you that.
You know what's nice about at least most Muslim countries, not necessarily Muslim, at least the Levantine region, which is Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, half of Iraq. These areas, even though they're not rich, they are rich in history.
Absolutely.
History is crazy.
Absolutely.
Jordan has one of the world's 7 landmarks.
Seven
Petra.
wonders,
Yeah,
right?
7 wonders, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
7 wonders. The Petra. It also has the Dead Sea.
What's
the
the
sea.
Petra?
Petra is like a big. How do you call it? It's made out of clay, right? Yeah, clay and stone, basically carved. That's in Jordan.
I just got
It's very
chills.
crazy.
I've
Actually.
seen the
So
video.
actually, I've been there. It is crazy.
You been?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Jordanian. It's a part. It's in my country, so like.
Wait, Jordan is a part of. Is Jordan and Palestine the same?
No. They just share a border.
Okay.
Share a
They're
border.
borders. Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah, the Levantine region, they all share borders.
The what region?
Levantine. Which in Arabic, Sham. Sham.
Are there a lot of
In Arabic.
Arabics that are Christian too?
Yeah.
There are, right?
Whenever someone asks me this question, I'm always surprised.
It's just so unheard
when
of.
When I tell like an American or anyone that lives here basically that we also have Arab Christians, they're like, how?
Yeah.
Did you forget?
Mate.
Did you forget that Christianity comes from Arabic countries? It doesn't. Well, they weren't Arabic at that time, but it is based in Palestine, Bethlehem. So the birthplace of Jesus is a city in Palestine
Called?
Bethlehem.
I never knew that's where Jesus was born.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so when someone tells me you have Arab Christians, it just doesn't. No. They are the original ones. You guys came after.
Wow. Wait, so
Yeah.
the Muslims came after the Christians?
No, I'm saying, like, when a Christian here is surprised that we have Arab Christians,
Oh. They don't know that
I
they
have to
came
explain
after.
to him
Yeah.
that they're the original ones, not you.
They're the OGs. Yeah, and
because
you're the
Christianity
copy.
has been in the Middle East. I mean, the birthplace of Christianity is the Arabic country, Palestine. But at the same time, it went to Africa before it reached the West. So if anything, the Western world is the last one to actually receive Christianity.
Damn, I really didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so Africa had Christianity before the West.
Wow, and these you know,
And people over here think
American
that they are the
people-
original, not the Americans, in general, people over here, the Western world, Europeans as well, they think they own Christianity. No, you don't own Christianity. Christianity comes from us, Arabs.
Wow.
Not
that's very
necessarily
cool.
Arab, Middle Easterns, because at that time, there were many people in the region, not just Arabs.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
You know what? Thank you for saying that, because like, you know, people are gonna be like, "What is he talking about?" But at least you're saying like at that time, it was different. Like the
Yeah.
whole demographic
Yeah,
was
we had
different.
the Phoenicians, we had the Canaanites. It's just a rich history in that area. Very rich history, specifically in that area.
That's so cool.
So yeah, whether they were whatever they were, just basically the birthplace of Jesus is Bethlehem, the city called Bethlehem.
Bethlehem.
Yeah,
Okay. Wow. Okay. So that's
and then they call him Jesus of Nazareth because he eventually, I think he moved to Nazareth, which is Nasra in Arabic. Nasra, yeah, it is another city in Palestine.
oh okay.
So if anything, the birthplace of Christianity is Palestine. It's not the U.S. or Canada or
The more you know.
the U.K.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's actually new to me.
Yeah.
Like I never. Okay. Teaching me things. And that wasn't even a question that I had on here. And we're already learning. This is going to be an Islam thing. I'm learning about
always
Christianity
a
a little
people on
bit.
this side of the world, you know, that how do you have Christianity? I only thought Arabs were Muslim. No.
Okay, so wait, how do you know all this stuff, by the way?
We grew up with Christians. Arab Christians are all around us. They're not a minority. I mean, they are a minority, but they're like, it's not like it's something that's not known.
Yeah. Okay.
Most Arab countries have the Christian Arabs as well.
Yeah.
They're Arabs. We're Arabs. We're Arabs.
Arabs.
You don't see that difference between us and them. Muslims and Christians are called Arabs.
Yeah.
We're just Arabs. We both have the same traditions. We both have the same cultural values. When I actually say that we both have the same traditions, that is me creating a separation. I'm telling you that we are the same thing. Like whether you're Christian or you're Muslim, you are Arab. In our side of the world, at least, you know, we grew up with same thing.
You
same
brought up
thing.
something very important right now. The separation. Jad, don't you believe that at some parts, in some level, that the religion aspect of people, like their beliefs and the prophet that they support, has it not caused a lot of war, a lot of trouble in the past?
No. I do not believe that. I only believe that war and anything that has to do with a person killing people in the name of God and all this
Has nothing to do with.
has nothing to do with religion.
Right.
It has to do with political values or political beliefs.
People's greed.
In the name of religion. Because whenever you want to control people, you use religion.
Dude,
Yeah. And this is coming from someone who's religious.
You just said it
This
best.
is coming from someone who's religious. In history, all these corrupt leaders, all these corrupt main figures in a country, in a government. I'm not just talking about now. I'm talking about previously, 100 years ago, 300, 400, 500. These people would kill people in the name of religion, all right, and makes it look so bad. At the end of the day, it was only to move their political agenda forward, whether it was 500 years ago or now. I don't believe that a true religious person would actually go downstairs, walk up to someone, or do something that might affect him in any shape, way, or form. If you're religious, you just don't care about anyone else. I mean, you don't. No, I don't necessarily mean you don't care.
No,
I mean,
you're not trying to harm anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Else.
You just, you're just religious. It's between you and God. Like, how is me believing in God gonna make me affect you?
That's so true.
Or inflict violence on you? It just does not make sense.
Yeah.
You know, when you think of religion, you want to say it's someone who's calm, someone who's praying, someone who's a man of God. He doesn't lie. He doesn't steal.
Good qualities.
Yeah, exactly.
Good positive qualities.
When a man is religious, this is what you think. When you see extremism, when you see things that are taken out of context, that is not Islam, Christianity, or Judaism. That is just next level politics.
Yeah.
This is what I believe. I don't know if people might agree or not. This is my opinion.
Dude, please.
Yeah.
Come on.
This is just
honest opinion time.
Yeah, this was just my opinion. You know, I don't really believe that anyone who does anything bad in the name of religion is actually doing something in the name of religion. Like, religion does not, in Islam, at least in Islam, in the Quran, to be specific, I know about this, it says that if you kill a human being, it is as if you have killed all of humanity.
Wow.
Yeah, Islam, the Quran says that. You know what the punishment for that is? It is something, no one can comprehend what the punishment for that is. Allah makes it clear. I don't think in Islam we don't believe in eye for eye. We believe in mercy,
forgiveness.
You know, yeah.
Most forgiving, most merciful.
We believe in most mercy. I think I'm not sure if there's a verse or a hadith about eye for an eye, but I'm also saying that
no religion would promote eye for an eye. I know for a fact, because it's not a good mind, dude. Regular humans shouldn't do that.
Yeah, there might be somewhere where it says something, but also Islam does not teach you to be weak. Islam does not teach you to be weak in any shape, way, or form. You're allowed to forgive. You're allowed to be nice. You're allowed to be merciful. But at the same time, you do not let someone
walk all over you.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, your kindness should not be taken as a weakness.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, forgive but never forget. That's how I live my life. Exactly. You forgive but never forget people. But what you're saying is not controversial, in my opinion. I think that's dude. Anyone that uses religion in a bad way to promote their own, you're not religious, bro. You're a scammer.
Yeah.
You're a scammer. You're trying to scam people.
It's a much deeper thing than just someone who wants to make religion look bad or something, you know? I feel like it has to do so much with politics and other things in general.
Yeah, things behind the curtain that we don't know about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't see a religious person that's going down around the street and killing everyone in the name of Islam.
That doesn't even exist. Yeah, that's not...
Even up till now, when they mention Islam actually has the least amount of killings ever since it started. Even though there is a 600-year difference between Islam and Christianity, which is something scholars would use as an argument, still Christianity has approximately 60 to 100 million killings throughout history in the name of God. I'm not saying that is true. I'm just saying that is... I know it's true, but I'm not saying it's correct. They actually did it in the name of God. Those were just Christians by name. So when someone does something by name of God, doesn't necessarily mean that your God is actually telling you to do it.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. That's not.
Those weren't the Christians. I met Christians. I grew up in a Christian school, by the way.
Really?
We had Christians all around us. It's not like we don't know their religion or who they are. So when someone in history comes and he kills the Crusaders or whatever, Islam, Judaism, anything, any religion that comes and kills in the name of God, it is just politics.
Is there any part of the Quran, I mean, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but is there any part that talks about Christianity?
What do you mean?
In the Quran?
I mean, yeah, God speaks of
all the religions?
How people will, the Quran speaks of, Allah says, In multiple places, actually, it speaks about the story of Jesus, of Mary. It speaks
does? In the Quran?
Of course.
Okay.
It speaks of Judaism and the prophets that came to the Jews. It also speaks how Jesus was sent to the Jews. It says a lot. It says the 25 prophets. The Quran mentioned 25 prophets.
And Jesus
Each
was
one.
in there.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Of course.
Isa in Arabic. Isa alayhi salam. Peace be
Right,
upon
right,
him.
right.
Yeah, Jesus is one of the most important prophets. If you
Dude,
don't listen, in Islam, if you don't believe in one of the prophets or the books or angels or day of resurrection, which is day of judgment, basically these things are core of your belief. If you don't believe in these people, you can't believe in Islam. I cannot enter heaven without believing in Jesus, Isa alayhi salam. I can't enter heaven without believing in him. Of course, I love him. I respect him. I believe. I listen to his teachings. We pray the same way Jesus did. We just don't believe that Jesus was God. That's the only thing. But it's not like we don't believe in him.
Wait, Christians believe that Jesus was God?
Yeah, or the Trinity and all of that. You know, it's a bit more complicated. than
Wait,
just that.
they say that their prophet was God?
Jesus to them is not a prophet. Jesus to us was a prophet.
Oh, but to them, that's their Lord.
Yeah.
That's why they say Lord and Savior, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, the Trinity and Jesus. But in Islam,
That's interesting to me. That's very interesting.
Islam, it's just he's a prophet. He's one of the most important prophets, but it's just a prophet, no connection to God. I mean, he's not God. I mean, that's what I mean. He just has
Right,
nothing to
right.
do
No,
with
he's
God.
God's
But
messenger.
Of course, as a messenger of God, there is a connection. Of course, that's what I meant. You know.
Dude, yeah, he's
Yeah.
if he's like the chosen one, pretty
Yeah,
much.
but at least many people they don't know that about Islam too. Some people were shocked that we believe in Jesus and his holy birth and.
I didn't know that right now. So you're telling me that even in the Quran they show respect to the other religions as well. They acknowledge it and they're not saying like that's wrong or this is right the way that us humans do it.
No,
they're not like
the
that.
Quran makes it clear that these people are wrong,
Right.
but it tells us the truth about Jesus and other prophets.
Wait, what do you mean that those people are wrong that are saying that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
Right?
Quran shows us, for example, it tells us that whoever takes Jesus as God is basically sinning. The Quran tells us that.
Is basically what?
Sinning. Wrong, completely wrong.
If you take Jesus as your Lord?
Of course. What is shirk? Number one sin in Islam. The worst sin in Islam. Shirk. Associating partners with Allah or comparing him to anything.
But wait, I don't understand. But you're saying that so do they respect it or no?
He's a prophet. In Islam, of course. He's a prophet. But he's not God. He has no connection to God. Like, he is not any form of God. There's no such thing as Trinity.
But anyone that believes that Jesus is a God is a sinner?
Basically, they're Christians. Yeah. They're Christians.
So all Christians are sinners then?
In Islam,
In Islam's view?
in Islam's view, anyone who does not worship Allah, believe in the prophets, basically do the 5 pillars of Islam, yeah, everyone is sinning.
You see, I can't get down with that. Like, that's just, like, I mean, like, realistically, though, like, does that make any... It's like, why? Why?
I believe that we were all created for one reason, to worship Allah, and that is it. Whatever came after is just humans.
Extra.
Yeah, it's just the humans. Like, if you were born...
You really believe our purpose here is to worship God?
Yeah, if you were born 1,000 years ago...
What's your purpose then?
Like, are you gonna go study college or like have a job? You're gonna ask, what's my purpose? 1,000 years ago. I'm saying 1,000 years ago.
1,000 years ago is like not that far away.
All right. 5,000 years ago.
Then you do whatever you did 5,000 years ago.
Spawned, and then you're like,
You just spawned?
Yeah. I don't have school. I don't have.
You're born.
I don't have work. There's not much to do. What should I do?
What? There was shit to do back then.
I mean, of course there was.
You go fishing. You go hunting. You go find something to do. You go make a fire. If fire was invented by then. All I'm saying is that our purpose is more than just that. It can't just be I mean, I understand that it's a noble thought to have, but it can't just be that.
You can enjoy life too. There's so much you can do. It's okay. Pray, read Quran. wait, and then go out. That's normal. This is a normal.
And then go out to the hookah bar.
Yeah,
right.
that is wrong. But I just meant like go out for a walk, go see your
Jad,
friends.
Do you
It's normal.
Do you sin, Jad?
In Islam, you are not.
Islam.
Yeah, of course. I'll always use Islam.
What about you?
Of course, it tells us we are all just like.
So what does that mean? Are you gonna be going to hell?
No, brother, there are levels of sinning, right? In Islam, you're a sinner. You will
Okay.
you will always do something wrong because you're human. You are not exempted from sins.
Right.
The only ones who are actually exempt from sins are angels. That is our belief in Islam. They're angels, another creation of Allah, because these angels have no control over. They don't have free will, so that's why humans are the greater creation, because we have free will. We can decide whether we want to believe or not, or practice or not. This is a belief in Islam.
We do have free will, yes.
Yeah. So in Islam, we're all basically sinning. We all do things on a daily basis. It might be wrong, might be too wrong, might be good, whatever. Most importantly, pray. Have the thought of God always watching you. Basically, just be a Muslim. Someone who submits his will to God. That is essentially what Islam means, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, submitting your will to God. So, yeah, that's my answer.
Do you believe everything happens for a reason?
I don't know. I
Everything that happens to you, you believe that God puts you in that place, or God is the author of your book, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
I mean, that's what if your main purpose is to worship God, then I'm sure you believe that He has a plan for you, right?
Yeah.
God's plan. That's what they say, right? God has a plan for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you something that some people may think is a stupid question, but I don't think it's stupid, because I think it's the realest way to talk about what I just asked you about, if you believe in God's plan.
Yeah.
Why do bad things happen to good people?
Essentially,
Why does a baby that was just born a month later dies? Why? I know these are very hard questions. I know, but tell me, what do you think?
I think we already made our disclaimer that I am not a scholar.
Right, no,
So I make a mistake. It's
I know. I just want to if you want to take a second to think about it, because I know it's how do you tell me?
I personally don't have an answer off the top of my head. I've heard this before. In Islam, basically, everything that happens, Allah is the reason for it. All right. So if a baby was to die tomorrow,
Okay.
all right, and he was the son of good parents, and these people were devastated, then Allah, there are so many different ways where we can see it, but I would say that it can also be beneficial to these parents who, for example, Allah is planning to reward them with something else in the future, in their afterlife. Right? Allah tests us with everything. If a baby dies, for example, God forbid, someone's son or daughter, dies, and these people are devastated, even though they were amazing people in this world.
Right.
It is a test from Allah to see how they would react. Might be. I don't know what a more deeper answer would be. I'm just telling you what I've heard.
That's fair.
If he dies, if a baby dies, and these parents were tested to their patience to see how they react. For example, did they say, for example, to us?
Is there an appropriate reaction that God
Yeah.
expects?
I expect it would be so nice of you. It would be very good for you to show your belief. If something bad happens to you and you say thank God, that is also a very strong, a very strong belief. When you just something bad happens to you and you say thank God, and you're patient. You crashed your car, for example, and then you just sat there and you said thank God nothing happened.
Thank God
okay.
I'm alive. Yeah.
Thank God I'm alive.
Yeah.
Things like that show the strength that you have as a human,
As a believer.
a couple of years ago, there was this Muslim man who his son died. A person here in the US, a person robbed his son and killed him. in the government, in the court, the father forgave the son, not the son, sorry, he forgave his son's killer, just in the name of God. Islam is a Muslim to show people, you know,
I have goosebumps right now.
mercy. No, watch the video. It's actually it's a very nice video. Of if you see the guy, he's tearing. The father, he's tearing, but he forgives him to show him that, you know, this is Islam. This is us. This is what we believe. So, essentially, when bad things happen to you, in Islam, we can think that somewhere in the future, God will give us something new. What if, so many people might disagree with me, but what if that son grew up and had a very bad life?
Okay,
You know?
there you go. You just arrived
What
to
if
where
he had
what
some
my
other
mom
thing?
used to say.
What if he was completely normal, but
Yeah.
when we believe if a person dies before puberty, he's going to heaven.
Regardless.
There's no like test. There's nothing. So I think when you know that, I think that is enough to keep a Muslim parent calm, at least, who believes in Allah and knows these things, that his child is going to go to heaven regardless of, he doesn't have to go through this earth. If you search up the internet,
Yeah.
all right, and you see different scholars, you will find your answer.
Of
From
course.
me, you would never find your answer because that question is too deep.
Yes.
You know, that's too deep.
And it's a big
Yeah.
like
There's
a what
so
if.
much you can say.
Different
There's-
circumstances,
Yeah.
you know, but still
Even my example is not satisfying to most people.
Of
You
course.
know?
And I'm going to say something. What you just said at the very end, it's something that my mom used to say, and it honestly, it made me upset back in the day when I used to hear it. She would say, and I love you, Mom, but this was kind of ridiculous. She would say, seriously, she would say like, Sean, and I know, like, it's such a, oh my God, it's so ridiculous. Like, I don't even want to repeat it. But like, I would ask her the same question. I'm like, Mom, why is this baby like in a war-torn country, hasn't been good or bad, can't be good or bad. It's a baby. It's an infant. Why does this baby die? She's like, Shine. You know, she started with like a long explanation and everything, and then at the end she came with, you never know. Maybe that baby could have been a bad person. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, how can you judge a baby?
I'll tell you.
A baby.
I'll tell you. Your mother's answer and my answer are not to be taken into like
Right.
consideration.
Seriously.
You know,
Seriously.
because these are things that are ambiguous to us. We don't control the fate of anyone.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, I when we started this podcast, I told you there were people smoking weed. Did you think that I was gonna go up and judge them or ask them why are you doing this? Whatever Allah wants for these people, whatever Allah writes for these people, is His choice and His choice only.
Yeah.
When you see war, when you see a kid be infected, when you see a child be kidnapped or
Killed.
or a mother or a father die, these are things that a human does not have like any sort of opinion or say in. These are things we don't control. So what do we think Allah is doing? It's not something we look for or take into consideration. That is Him and Himself. That's it. That's not our choice.
It's hard to ask a grieving parent, though, someone that just lost their kid, to just trust the process. Just trust the process, please.
No, you're not asking them to trust the process. You're asking them to be strong in their belief and believe that they have that this child. Okay, in Islam, Quran, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We are to God, and to God we go back, basically.
Right. We come from Him,
Yeah.
and then we go back to
We
Him.
are for God, and to God we go back.
Right.
That's not the correct translation.
Yeah,
in
I
Arabic,
butchered it.
Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So
Okay.
it's basically telling us that you are gonna go back to Him. You are gonna go back to Him, and He is more merciful on any person than a mother is on her baby. So يعني when a person dies or something happens to him, that is literally to him. Whether it was a punishment or whether it was beneficial for him. Like for example, in Islam, we believe that when a person is approximately at the end of his life and he's sick and he's finding out all these sicknesses in his body, I'm not sure if this is completely correct, but I do remember reading about it and hearing it from multiple places, that these sicknesses are basically there to cleanse off all the sins that he has before he leaves. For example,
Wow.
you see? So the way Allah thinks and what Allah does, as Muslims, we respect ourselves and we do not question what He wants to do. You know,
Right.
at the end of the day, fate, He writes it, it happens. Muslim must be strong, say Alhamdulillah to anything that happens to them, whether it was good or bad. If it was bad, for example, you got fired from your job, you never know what Allah has in store for you. Maybe that job would have changed you. Maybe that job wasn't good for you in the next 2 months. You never know what's going on. You never know what's going on. When I had my stitch,
Right.
I fell. The first thing I remember I said when I left the swimming pool, I said, "Thank God that wasn't my head." Sorry. My first instinct was, if that was my head,
You'd be dark.
yeah, God forbid. So to me it was like, thank God. So having that core belief, you know, that God is in charge of everything that happens in your life, makes you stroll around,
Yes.
not caring.
Dude, my brother.
You know?
That's my dude.
Yeah,
My
stroll
brother,
around.
he just does stupid shit. He's like,
Yeah.
God's got me.
No, okay,
God's got me.
not that much.
Yeah.
You're not gonna jump off the 5th floor and then say that God's got me.
Yeah.
You know, or go get lost in the woods and say God's got me. That's you putting yourself in
That's
a
ridiculous.
weird situation, you know, or a dangerous situation. Of course, that's not.
That's
what we
not.
were
That's not
saying.
right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but we're saying when something happens, you know, out of the blue, you never know what Allah has in store for you, whether it was good or bad. You know,
So you believe in karma? I'm assuming too.
you know that.
That good happens
Like if
to
you
you
do
when you're
something
good.
bad, something's
and
gonna
bad.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, of course. Bad, yeah.
If you're bad, something bad
yeah,
happens
of course,
to you. Right?
of course. If it was not now, it might be in the afterlife. This is what I mean by when we say people, maybe you escape the government now, you escape the police for now, no one saw you do that bad thing. You will get it in the day of judgment or at the end.
My
you know?
fear, Jad, is that the people that are truly bad, they never come to that day of judgment.
No,
That's my
why-
fear in life.
That's Islam. Islam tells you that these people will have their.
I trust me. I want to believe that. I want to be like, yeah, you're right, because that's how justice is served. These bad people, they're not going to get away with it. The bad person gets caught in the end.
You know what's beautiful about Islam? That Allah will forgive you when you do something wrong with Him. I mean, like you didn't pray, for example, you missed a prayer, you did something wrong, you thought of something wrong. Allah is all merciful. He will forgive you. But if you affect a person on this earth, alright, Allah will never forgive you until that person forgives you. So imagine, if you make a mistake with Allah, He will forgive you. With Him.
Is this in the Quran?
Of course, this is Allah is all merciful. If you make a mistake with Allah, He will eventually forgive you. If you seek forgiveness, if you pray and you make tawbah, which is revert basically, not revert, you're asking for forgiveness, you're becoming a better person. He will forgive you.
Wow.
Because He is all merciful, whatever you've done. Of course, there are limits to what you can do. For example, shirk is the biggest sin.
Murdering? Is that?
No, shirk is associating partners with Allah. Qatl is also one of the biggest, worst
Sins.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
You're killing a human. I just told you, the Quran says if you kill a human, it's as if you killed all of humanity.
Right.
So let's not get into that. But basically, yeah, Allah, if you make a mistake with Him, you didn't pray, eventually you came back to your deen, your religion, you started praying, and you're trying to change your life, Allah will forgive you for everything you've done. But the second you make a mistake with a person, and that person does not forgive you, Allah will bring you both on the day of judgment and ask that person if He forgives you or not. You know, so that is one of our that's one of the most important things in Islam. We also believe in. You know, that is how Islam is.
That's such a. Oh my God, that's like old school. Like just are you when you hear that, don't you think about like the million different circumstances, the million different because every situation, you know, there's 7 billion people on this earth. Every situation is different.
Right now. Yeah.
8 billion people, and what's good to one person may be bad to another, but it's all a gray area. That's
why you need someone that is not a human to judge you, because He will judge you the way He wants you. Because He will judge you the best, most fair, depending on your circumstances.
I wish He would judge me.
No.
I wish He would.
I mean, on Day of Judgment.
Yeah, I know. I have to wait until then.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically,
Judge me now, man. Judge me now. Tell me how I'm doing right now. I want to know.
Yeah, what is supposed? Lightning comes down if you're doing good.
No, just give me a sign. Give me like. Do you believe in signs?
Yeah, of course I believe in signs. But what are my signs? The mountains, the wind, the solar system.
No,
sun?
those are not signs.
No, those are signs. Of course, those are signs.
I mean, like little signs, like if when it's raining and then you say something like, oh, like if the thunder comes right now, then like he's there or something, or some little, like a little thing that happens that makes you believe in something, a very small thing.
No, I feel like that is just
Coincidence.
yeah, because the Quran literally tells you they ask for signs. Have they not seen the signs that we have showed them?
Right.
The mountains,
My mom,
solar system,
dude,
sun.
you would literally like
Basically miracles of the Quran. So it literally tells us that we have shown you these signs. By the way, we, it means God alone, Allah, but in Arabic it is plural of respect
oh,
by saying we.
that's
As plural
more
of respect.
respectful.
It's just Allah, yes.
Okay.
It's plural. It's called plural of respect. That's just the grammar.
Plural of respect.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we, us,
Them.
it's just one person. No, them is talking about other.
Oh, right.
We,
right.
us is
Is
just
us.
Allah, but plural of respect.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like we're on the same team, pretty much. You and your God.
No. I'm saying like stuff in the Quran.
Oh,
where
in the
Allah
Quran,
says,
it refers
for example,
to.
have we not shown them these signs? Have we? Allah means Himself. That's it.
I see.
That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
You have to read the Quran like full.
I have to. No,
With an
I
open
should.
mind.
But like,
And you'll see your signs.
I can't read Arabic though. I have
read
to
in English.
I have to read the English one. Yeah, and I gotta get a good one. It's very interesting, and I have read it before. I hope you know. Like I've actually sat
Yeah.
down and I've read verses, but long
read it
time
now, it
ago,
would be
not
a different
recently.
perspective as well.
Yes, you said it. You just said it. You literally took the words out of my mouth right now with that. And now that I'm older, and my mom always said that. She said that, Shine, once you're older, you're gonna realize it yourself, and like
There is something more to this life. There's
exactly.
Working, going home, paying bills.
I'm not saying that that's all that there is to life, right?
I'm just telling you that.
Like I want
To
you
us
to
at
know,
least.
I'm not saying that. Okay, believe
Because you
me.
would be a boring person if that's what you think life is.
Yeah,
about, you know?
and that's not. I do believe like when you die though, it's just like you're dead. Like that's just like that's like one thing I do believe. Like,
yeah, that's
it's just
not
dark.
that's not our belief.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
no, that's fair.
Yeah, go ahead though.
But I want to believe that. Like I hope you like.
I am rooting for you. I hope you.
I hope
reach
I come to that point.
Yeah. I'm waiting.
Yeah. I'll see you there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Here's another important question. But then, like, here's the thing. Like, these questions, they're all like kind of tied to each other. You know, like because they're all like somewhat already halfway answered by some of your already answers.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
Because we went broad, you know.
We did. No, we went. Dude, we just went through everything,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
lot, in a very short amount of time. But I wanna ask you about this. So, you know about the Declaration of Independence, obviously, right? Like when America was
I'm
founded.
talking about the U.S.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
4th of July. Yeah.
1776. That's when America was founded.
Okay, I'm actually very interested on where this question is going. That is not there.
You're gonna see it right now.
I don't expect anything.
I just threw you off now with the
Yeah,
Declaration of
that's,
Independence.
It felt like a history lesson right now. You know, are you familiar with the independence?
So, excuse me.
Let's see.
Thank you. So, some people say that the Declaration of Independence is a little outdated. What I mean by that is there's obviously there's like a whole set of like they say like, you know, you can bear arms, free speech, a bunch of things.
It's becoming too political.
Well, no,
All right,
no.
I'm waiting for the rest of the question.
Right.
How
Let it
can you
marinate.
believe that the Quran is not outdated?
So do you believe that there are some parts of the Quran that are a little outdated? And I'll give you some examples right now. And do you believe, like, if you could, okay, I'm saying like if you had the power to alter or to update some things in the Quran, and I know you're saying that that's like the final word of God, what Quran is, and whatever it's in
Of course,
there,
that's
it's
kufr.
correct.
If you edit the Quran, that's kufr. Kufr is leaving
What is that?
Islam, leaving the fold of Islam. First of all, that would never be possible because we have approximately 200 to 300, 400 million people who have memorized the Quran word for letter. So the second someone edits something in the Quran, it will...
Well, but I'm literally talking hypothetical.
Hypothetically, okay.
Right?
Yeah,
So like if you...
it's impossible.
Oh, okay. If is there anything like, do you not think that like there's any part of it that's outdated?
All right. First of all, your first question. Okay, two parts.
It is a
You said-
two-parter, yeah.
Are you done?
Of course, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Your first question is: do you not believe it is outdated? I do not believe it is outdated. I do not.
You don't think it's outdated?
No.
Like at all?
Of course not. Of course not.
Okay, wait.
The Quran,
Intimacy with a woman before marriage.
what?
You believe like you believe that's not allowed?
Of course not.
Wait, like you've never. So wait, you personally like you don't believe like it's.
This is Islam. Of course, it's not allowed.
But you
This is
live
not
in
something
America,
outdated. Huh?
but wait,
It's not outdated. Wherever you are, religion tells you nothing before marriage.
right? But like,
It's
what
not
the hell?
outdated.
Like, I mean, like nowadays, like you gotta like, I mean, like nothing, not even a kiss.
See, I don't think that most of the countries that are around us are really the moral compass of these things. You know?
Of course,
When
no,
you
of
have-
course.
when
But
you-
even in back home, like people are not like.
Right.
Let's
These
let's
things
take it one
happen
by one.
left
yeah.
and right.
Right.
These places happen left and right. Just that more areas are more exposed and okay with it. You can't do
Yeah.
that in an Arabic country. You still can't do. I think is it called PDA, public display of affection? Yeah.
Right. No,
can't.
PDA is in Iran.
And
You
I'm
can't.
with it. It's just you can't do that. So in general, all these things, these are not outdated. These are things that keep it, especially intimacy before marriage, keeps it very special between two people who are getting married. You know, if you have been with 16 people, both of you, and you got married, how is it special?
What do you mean?
Yeah, how is it special?
It's maybe you had to go through all those to realize what you want.
You can go through life on your own. You can go through life with her. It's a learning curve. You're both together. It's normal. You don't have to
Experience things with other people.
Yeah, you don't have to be intimate with other people to learn if this is what you want or you don't want. If you do it the first time with one person, you're going to be attracted to them regardless because it's something special between you two.
Yeah, but aren't you naturally like curious as a guy? Like, isn't that not like how we are built? I mean, like it's.
Islam.
I'm not saying it's like a. It's.
Islam
I'm not like a player or anything. I haven't even been with a lot of fucking
I know,
women
but
in my
Islam
life.
tells you
But
that the second that you actually feel like you can and you want to marry, but that you want to do this in the halal, you can only do it halal. Marry someone basically. But if you keep on doing it, if you keep on ignoring the halal part of it, right? That's haram. Yani, well, that's kind of obvious, yeah. But basically, you can't do it outside the fold of Islam. Islam literally tells you if you want to just get married.
wow.
Yeah, it's not outdated. This will never be outdated.
Okay. 4 wives. In the Quran, it says that you're allowed to have 4 wives.
Of course, yes. This is.
That's not outdated.
No, it's not outdated.
Not even that, brother.
See, brother, listen.
Come on.
Having 4 wives
Yeah.
is not something anyone wants to do.
Wait, but if it says in the Quran that you can do it, you don't think that there's going to be some guys that try to use that?
Brother, if you want to halal, Quran tells you it is halal. Under what circumstance? You have to be very equal between them. You have to
Okay.
give them all the exact same amount, the exact amount of love, money, passion, whatever. You have to show them all the exact
Okay.
same thing equally. The second you do something with one of them less than the other, Allah will punish you for it. This isn't just a one-way ticket to having fun. This is also responsibility. Now, Islam, when it permitted a person having 4 wives, right? It was in a time where the women population was the majority.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
More than men.
It's,
All right?
Then it was probably
Women needed men to take care of them because they were all widows or they were just basically more than men.
Sure. Okay.
So Allah permitted a person to marry 4 wives or to have up to 4 wives just for the sake of taking care. Because see, in Islam, marrying isn't just intimacy. Marriage is completing your religion. You know, it's very important to get married and have kids and basically be responsible,
Right.
taking care. So essentially, when this was a verse or when this came down, it was at a time of war when all the women population was more. But Allah gave us all these conditions because even at this time, He's telling you if you want to do it, these are still the same conditions. So it's hard.
How is it the same conditions now? We're not in the same conditions now. Now it's different. Now there's not like so many more women compared to men.
Yeah. Now I'm talking about the conditions of what makes it permitted to actually marry these four. That did not change.
Which is what? The condition, like you have to
being
be
equal, being
loving each of
showing them all the same thing. You think it's easy? It's not easy. It's not normal. How rich and how responsible should you be to be even like taking care of four people equally? That's hard. That's not easy. And the punishment for that, if you lack or you slack with one of them, basically, then the punishment is not a joke. It's scary. No one wants to go through that. You know, another reason why a person might marry two is because the first one, for example, is incapable of being pregnant. You know, and there's so many reasons. Now, me personally, would I get married to four? No. I'm just telling you that these things are not outdated. There are special conditions and certain ways which allow you to get married to four. Doesn't necessarily promote the fact that you should go marry four. That's not the message here. You know, the main message was taking care of these people, being responsible, giving them money, basically taking care of them financially. There were so many reasons to actually get married.
No, there are many reasons to get married. Yeah,
I mean, multiple.
But four wives is like no. I don't know a woman that'd be okay with that nowadays. You know.
Yeah, then okay, she's not forced to be with him.
To be with that person, right? Yeah.
It goes vice versa. So even if he's allowed to marry up to four, then she doesn't have to be with him. So it's
circumstantial.
So it's not really important. Like, it's not like you hear of people getting married to four wives every day. I have never met a person who's married to four.
No, me neither.
Yeah. So
I read the things that it says, and I'm like, what the hell is this? But there's obviously people that you know, like obviously you know, like there's gonna be some Muslims that try to take advantage of that.
No,
right?
not just take advantage. You never know what their intentions are.
By taking advantage, I just mean like just doing it. I don't mean like in a bad way. I just mean like they're just doing what they're allowed to do.
Imagine someone like two old guys who both have a son and daughter, for example. All right, and they're very good friends. The father was reaching the father of the daughter. All right, was reaching the point where he knows he's gonna die, and he doesn't have any sons. He just has a daughter, for example, and he's afraid for her. And he wanted his best friend's son to marry his daughter, for example, knowing that other person, that other son already has other wives. His main reason for making them married was to make that person take care. By the way, this example just came out of the top of my head.
It's a very specific,
in-depth and specific example, so do not take that into consideration.
Right.
I'm just saying, you never know what a reason could be. It could be as random as my thoughts right now.
It could, no, it could be.
So, I'm just saying, it's not like the Quran encourages you to go marry four. You know, marriage comes with very huge responsibility.
Of course.
It is a huge responsibility. There's a certain way to treat your wife or treat your husband. So much that comes with it. It's not like a...
You can't just go marry four people whenever you feel like it.
No, even with one, you're responsible for so many things.
Of course.
You know, taking care of her,
protecting
her. She has to obey the husband. It's vice versa. They both have different jobs, so marriage is not easy.
It's a two-way street. Absolutely.
Yeah. So imagine if you're married to four.
Married to what?
Imagine being married to four. If one sets you up with all these responsibilities.
I can so picture like those, because I've been to Dubai. And I know, like, how much I've seen, like, people with stupid amount of money.
Maybe that's something else.
Oh,
that's for fun. Maybe you never know. I'm talking about a poor person marrying four, for example.
No. You know,
for the sake
why the fuck would they? Like they can't even afford that lifestyle, you know. But like someone that has like like oil money and shit, like they're gonna go. Here's one bag for you, one Hermes bag for you, one Louis for you.
That is my answer to that question, even if it does not. I don't know how to. I don't know how to answer.
No. That's a fair answer. I mean, like it's just First of all, it's circumstantial, and it's not like people are like going and seeking
You
that.
brought up specifically the marriage. Let's on the other part of it would be like, to me the Quran is not outdated than anything else. So the Quran has people, mufassirin, it has the scholars, the ulama, scholars, people who are educated in this, to give us what we call fatwa, which is the new definition of what is meant here. You know, and the Quran tells us, for example, you know, there are some rules, I remember I read this somewhere, of things we are not allowed to do in a car. How did you bring that? If the
Car was not
if the car
existent
was
by
not there.
then. Yeah.
But the Quran speaks of means of transportation. The ahadith speak of means of transportation. So for example, if you, I don't know what would be the best answer. I have no clue. But for example, if there was a horse, as mentioned, you know, we can take the rules, or these scholars, very well educated people, not someone like me, you know, but these people,
Dude, you are
would
so
take-
educated.
would take that example and try to tell us this is in our time.
Yeah.
So when we say, for example, what made smoking haram? It's not. They had tobacco at that time, I think. Yeah, people
I'm
were
sure they
smoking.
did.
Yes,
Yeah.
tobacco is a very old thing.
Yeah.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, it's not. It was not there, or maybe in that specific region. All right. Smoking is haram now for us. Even nicotine, not just weed, just regular smoking. It is haram by these scholars because they bring the verse that anything that harms your body is haram. And the Quran does not specifically tell you you're not allowed to smoke nicotine or you're not allowed to vape. But every time you ask a Muslim, are you allowed? They say it's haram.
Yeah.
How is it haram? Based on these people and their understandings of the Quran, the mufassirin, what do you call it?
Scholars.
Not the translators, these-
Interpreters.
interpreters basically. They interpret that message and put it based on our timeline. You know? I'm telling you,
Yes.
the Quran does not tell us anything about smoking specifically, like nicotine or vaping. The Quran does not mention vapes.
Of course. Yeah.
Vaping is haram
That's okay.
for a specific reason, you know?
I
They
like how
brought-
you said that.
Yeah.
They form it in a way so it makes sense to
with
us.
our timeline. That is why it is never outdated.
Oh.
You know, I
see.
can't tell someone not to ride a horse, for example, because it's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see many people riding horses. If there was
Not
something,
nowadays.
this is a very bad example, but like I'm trying to show everyone, like if there was something bad about riding a horse, these people would tell you you're not allowed to drive cars.
Yeah.
To make it match our timeline. You know,
Of
that's why the
course.
Quran will never be outdated. It tells you it's the last message. It's for everyone.
Everything you said
I
now,
tried to
it's
explain
making
it.
sense. No,
I tried.
this was like your best.
Yeah.
Honestly, this was your best explanation
Okay,
because it
yeah.
makes sense. Because
So everything else was bad.
no,
Like this was your best explanation. Everything else was bad.
no, because I'm thinking in my head and I'm realizing that first of all your explanations were fine, but this one it really resonated with me. Other ones, I understand what you're saying, but I believe that what I have in my head, I believe it more than what you're saying. Okay, like
Yeah.
it's just my belief,
Understandable.
right? But what you're saying about this makes sense because I read books. Have you heard the 48 Laws of Power?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard of that book. That book it's very old. It's very old. I'm not like ancient, but obviously it's like
It's
it's
not like something in history.
exactly. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, within the last 100 years, it was written, and they literally kept this book away from prisons because they said that it would allow anyone that read it to be able to manipulate or control a group of people, and they stopped bringing that book to the jail just to stop anyone from having the potential to overthrow the guards, to overthrow the whole police station, the whole jail. So now my whole point with this is that they updated the 48 Laws of Power now to where it's not as violent and as powerful as it used to be back in the day. They literally said that this book would sway communities of people just off of like the ways that they would control people, because you know the whole way is it's your power. It's like you have power over people.
Basically.
Manipulation, exactly. Persuasion. You know, that's what the whole book is all about. It's how to manipulate, how to take advantage, how how to one up the person that you're standing in front of. But now they updated it to where it's relatable to our society.
And make it nicer.
They made it nicer.
Okay.
Like the OG version is like crazy.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
I read the book.
You did read it?
Yeah.
I read it. I didn't even read all of it.
I don't remember much about it. I do remember, when I read books, I don't really memorize what I don't memorize the book, but I just take a couple of things and then I just remember them.
Of course,
later on,
certain key things.
Yeah, you're not gonna remember a whole book. Like,
yeah, the fuck. Who does?
Yeah,
I'm not that guy. Like I'm the furthest thing from that guy. So thank you for this. Just you made it make a lot more sense for me, because this one I also I was like, I'm gonna thump him with this one. Like he's not gonna know what the hell just hit him with this one. But you gave a solid explanation. Actually, I like that. All right. I have a... Oh, okay. I just have my last two questions, and then we're done. But wait, how long have we been here now? Oh, brother.
What do you mean?
Goodbye.
What happened?
2 hours, 15 fucking minutes.
There's no way this has been 2 hours.
Bro, 2 hours, 15 minutes.
There's no way.
Can you check that camera just to see if it's still going?
That is crazy.
Do you want another water bottle, by the way?
No, I'm chilling. I didn't know it was 2 hours.
I genuinely... Oh my God,
Wow. That is crazy.
I cannot believe we've actually come this far. Okay, all right.
My.
Let me get through this.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay, very quickly, because this is like a rapid fire question. This whole thing with like girls starting to pray at 9 years old and then guys starting to pray at 15 years old, is that a real thing? Or is that, like they say that the level, like you become a mature person for girls at 9 and you become a mature person for boys at 15?
I don't know what that is, but I'm just assuming.
Does that ever ring a bell?
No, but I do know that I think on average, females hit puberty before men, before males, like a 1 year gap or a 2 year gap.
Gotcha.
I think like some females hit puberty between 10 to 12. That's average.
Yeah.
Or 9 to 12, and then males would be like 12 to 13, 14. Like it's an average, of course. Like it's a ballpark, because you never know what's going on, and the population is huge. So
of course.
But I think that is only what it's meant.
That's like the range, pretty much.
Don't they? I think they do.
I don't know a world where
I do remember that they hit maturity before men.
That's
for me.
I've heard that. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's facts.
And
honestly.
that's puberty. That's science. I'm
that's
telling
like
you that's average.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what you mean, but like 15 and 9, that doesn't make sense.
Those are not like set numbers.
So I'm telling you, it's probably just based on puberty, because I told you anything that happens before puberty is not counted.
Okay.
So that's why.
Got you. Okay. Until you're like actually like.
When you hit puberty, when you're fully controlled, fully controlling of your mind, your beliefs, yourself, basically.
Okay. That's fair. Okay. My last question for you, Jad, and I know it's probably not going to be the longest one, answer-wise, because I've heard a lot. But what?
No, I was going to say that we've already had a long discussion.
Of course, yeah, no. But I want to ask you at the end of all of this, it all comes down to faith in the end. I just want to ask you, what makes you believe? At the end of the day, after everything, and I'm sure you have your fair share. I'm sure you have friends that are not necessarily 100% believers, Do you not have friends that are like...
I do.
You do, right? Yeah, it's like not everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
Do you ever get doubts? And if so, how do you come back to your core? How do you come back to like, this is what I believe?
At the end of it, I reached a point where I will never have a doubt. At least that's what I like to think of myself.
Okay.
I don't think I will ever have doubts in Islam or... I've seen what I can. Like, I've seen what I am... What I cannot say is not true anymore. Like, I've reached the point where I can't say this is not true. When you read the Quran, when you pray, when you engage in all these Islamic beliefs like Ramadan, Saum, fasting, Zakat is charity, let me remind everyone.
Yeah.
These actions all, like, when you get too deep into them, you don't want to leave. Like, that's just a part of you right now. It's a fundamental, like, it's a part. It's a core. I don't know how to tell you. Like, it would be something like you'd have to change your personality.
It's a part of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
At
It's a
that point.
lifestyle.
It's a
So-
lifestyle.
So I don't think I will ever reach the point where I'm not believing or I might start having doubts. You know, that's a very, very hard question to answer.
I know. No, but I love that you're so secure in your faith.
Yeah.
It's very telling, especially after this whole conversation that we've had.
Because I told you, I mentioned this throughout the podcast, you know, when we were talking. The Quran tells you if you have doubts, don't question yourself. Read more.
Yeah.
Ask. The Quran tells you to do that. The Quran doesn't tell you to blindly believe. I already told you, yeah. Quran tells you the second you doubt, ask, study, read. It tells you.
Yeah.
You know, the Quran promotes an educated person, promotes studying, reading, learning new things.
Questioning.
Questioning, yeah. Basically, the Quran tells you to do that. So
Yeah.
even if you get to the point where you have doubts or anything, as long as it's not enough to make you push or to push you away from Islam or to make you hate Islam or, you know, where you came from, basically, just read, ask, be open-minded.
Yeah.
Basically, be open-minded.
That's wow.
That's why you have to read the Quran again.
I
With
do.
this mindset.
I
You know?
Oh my God! Especially after our conversation, like now I want to read
glad.
it more.
I'm glad.
I'm serious.
I'm
Like, and
glad.
I never wanted to before. I have a little bit, but I have never actually sat down. And now I'm curious
I'm
about
glad.
it, and I want to learn about it. And it's just because of this, dude.
I'm glad.
Just this
A
power.
very nice convo.
I'm sorry.
A very nice convo.
Yeah, right? Like I
didn't realize time went by.
I did not do it. Now we're at 2.5 hours now. Probably it goes by faster than you think.
Yeah, wow.
Jad, and I'm so glad that you ended with the open-mindedness, because that's
Yeah.
what it all comes back down to at the
Yeah.
end of the day. This whole thing, the whole point of this podcast, everything, Jad, is to have these conversations in an open-minded fashion.
Yep.
I said it to you in the beginning before we even started. I said, I'm not the guy that's like set
Yeah.
on this. You know, like this is the way,
Neither am I.
and forget every other way.
We
No.
both listened to each other. It was a very nice convo.
Yeah, and look at this, guys. Look at this. We don't hate each other now.
I think if anything, it's just gonna
Make the
strengthen.
bond
Yeah,
strong.
it's nicer. It's nicer. Got to know each other on a more personal level. You know, with what we believe in, with what we think.
I could not agree. You know what? That in itself, that deserves
Thank you.
a standing
Thank you.
ovation,
Thank
guys.
you.
Please sit
Thank
down,
you.
everyone. Please. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't even put this on for you.
Yeah, that should have been my introduction.
Yeah.
Actually-
Now it's an outro.
Yeah.
Now we're giving you an outroduction. Actually,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, this was episode 5
Yeah.
of Sherapy.
Wow. That was nice. It was a nice episode.
Jad, thank you for being here with
Of
me,
course,
man.
bro.
I
Thank you so
appreciate
much
you.
for
Thank
having
you
me,
for thank you
It
for
was
being such a
Very nice being here.
honest, it's such a great person to have a
You too, man.
conversation
You
with
too,
on this.
brother.
I was so like
Likewise.
excited for this moment, and now I'm here and I'm hearing it from your side, and I've learned so much, and I'm gonna continue to learn more.
I'm glad.
Thank
I'm
you,
glad.
thank you for being here. Okay.
Of course.
Is there any other requests? Do you have anything that you want to say to the world?
Oh,
Before you leave.
Yeah, that's just another disclaimer that I was not an expert on. Just something,
Did
you have to clarify.
Did he mention to anyone
I
that
would-
he's not an expert
You
by
know,
any
in
chance?
case I make any mistakes, I don't want anyone to tell me that you're sending false messages or anything. You know?
No,
so
of
this would be
course.
better to claim that I don't know.
Dude, if I wish like a scholar would actually watch this just so
Yeah.
that they can tell you that you're actually a lot more correct than you think you
I
are.
would still,
Okay?
Yeah, I
really
hope,
are.
I hope so. Alhamdulillah. But still, you have to put that disclaimer out.
Of course. No, absolutely, absolutely.
But yeah,
Jad, thank you for being here
Thank you.
again. This was episode 5, guys.
it's beautiful.
Sherapy.
Yeah.
And we're
My
out.
outro.